The heart of your teams, the heart of Michigan. Bally Sports Detroit, the heart of the fan.
High school football on Bally Sports Detroit is presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. When it comes to rivalries in the great state of Michigan, you'd be hard-pressed to find a better one than right here at Cass Tech High School, where the Technicians host their crosstown brethren, the Crusaders of Martin Luther King, in a Division I showdown. Welcome inside, everybody. I'm Johnny Kane. My partner, Rob Rubick, is just across the way. We've got the King players warming up literally right behind me. I know the Cass players are right behind you, partner. You look at these two programs, 8 combined state championships over the last 15 years. It doesn't get any better than this.
The only thing that's better right now, Johnny, is the crowd behind me. They were barbecuing. There was some serious tailgating going on. I tried to sneak in a little bit, but they saw me lurking and turned me away. But, yeah, what an atmosphere and some bodies on this field. As a former football coach, I'm looking. There's not college bodies, Johnny. There's some NFL-looking bodies on this field. Start with number 55. Mr. Thompson, this guy is unbelievable. And you look behind me now, the crowd's starting to pick up, Johnny. The enthusiasm's starting to pick up, and hopefully our broadcasts will pick up as well.
Yeah, tremendous athletes on both sides. And these two programs, they really carry the mantle for the entire Detroit Public School League.
Football is just a stay of togetherness. You know, we bring two people together. We can bring the whole city here in the middle of Detroit, in the middle of downtown, just to watch a game. And, you know, just to entertain them. And, you know, a lot of people will give us accolades of what we do in our future and what we did in the past, you know, for Detroit. Because I feel like football is a very big, you know, key component of how great Detroit is.
Well, that's LaShawn Mumfield talking right there, and what he brings to this game, Johnny, is he brings an athleticism. He can extend the play in the pocket, but he also can tuck it and run. We know he can throw the ball. He's done that for 3 years. What I like is his competitive attitude, because we're going to talk about another young man here in a minute, Corey Sadler. He fought him off to win the starting job once again this year, and, you know, when you look at him, Coach Rushing has all the confidence in the world in this young man. But on the other side, you got Dante Moore. I mean, come on, seriously. One or two, depends on the ranking service, quarterbacks in the country. Very skilled, very poised. His awareness is really incredible. He's the type of guy that he has a 5-tool set. They say in baseball, if they have one in football, he'd be a 5-tool guy.
Well, the two senior quarterbacks are going to be a big storyline tonight. You just alluded to it a little bit. We're going to be keeping our eyes on not just one, but 2 freshmen who will play a big role here tonight as well.
Yeah, well, let's start with Corey Sadler. This young man, he is a Swiss Army knife. He is a freshman, and I'm telling you, a freshman who plays physical, who plays competitive. He can play any position. He's played wide receiver, running back, quarterback. He told Coach, I want to line up a defensive end one time. 5'10", 175 pounds. He has a senior mentality. He's very physical. He comes with attitude. He wants to be the shining light that takes his team to the next level. But also, I think the most important guy in this game is going to be the right tackle, Deshaun Wheeler. He is a true freshman, and he's going to have his hands full going against Jalen Thompson, the aforementioned MSU commit, as well as Kamari Anderson, a Cincinnati commit. These two defensive ends, 280, 225 pounds respectively. They're a lot for a freshman at that tackle to handle. So they may see some Messiah Blair, the Eastern Michigan commit as well, moving to help him out there.
It's going to be a fabulous game to watch. As we know, both these teams have state title implications, or aspirations, I should say, and obviously both these teams need a win here. It's going to be a fabulous showdown. A lot of athletes, a lot of great play coming your way. We'll bring you kickoff here on Bally Sports right after this. Football Fridays on Bally Sports Detroit are brought to you by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Family's not just the name of our company, but the way we do business. And by your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Football is a game of numbers. Gains, losses, statistics. Everything is measured. Everything is known. But how do you measure a rivalry? How can you know football hatred? Well, you just feel it. Only 3 miles separate the campuses of Cass Tech and Martin Luther King, but their animosity knows no bounds. Talent, culture, bling. These crosstown rivals have given us some of the best football this state has to offer, and the coldest of shoulders. They may share similar histories, but today's athletes are focused on the now. Crusaders, technicians, bragging rights are on the line tonight on Bally Sports. Beautiful night for football. We're going to send you right down onto the field for the coin toss between King and Cass.
Come on out, gentlemen. Come on out, gentlemen. Come on out. Come on in. All right, gentlemen, go ahead and shake hands. All right, gentlemen, we're going to display good sportsmanship today, okay? We got the home team in green, visitors team in white. We're going to display good sportsmanship. We're going to keep the chatter down to a minimum. Don't let us get involved with it, because if we do, it's going to get ugly, okay? All right, gentlemen. Home team, heads, tails. Visiting team, heads, tails. Sir, what would you like to elect?
Tails.
What do you call?
Tails.
Tails. It is in the air. It is tails.
I want to defer.
You want to defer?
Yes, sir.
Which way you want to kick? You want to kick to the board?
Yes, sir.
All right, you guys are going to receive. Come around this way, gentlemen. They elected to defer, and we'll be kicking to the board. Gentlemen, again, shake hands. Let's have a great ball game today. Gentlemen, let's go.
The technicians will possess the football first. Before we get underway, let's bring in the third member of our broadcast crew, Miss Natalie Kerwin. Nat.
Yeah, hey Johnny, this is what high school football is all about, being right here downtown Detroit on a beautiful Friday night amongst two of the top programs in the state. Now this King-Cass Tech rivalry, it's personal, and it's not just to the players, also to really the city of Detroit. Family, friends, notable alumni. There's people lined up all along the fences. These guys feel it just as much as the players do, taking tailgating just as seriously. They got here way earlier today. Tickets were sold out just last week. There's really no better atmosphere than here tonight at Cass Tech. The showdown in Motown.
It's going to be a great night. I mentioned that both teams need a win. You look at Cass Tech, the home team here. They opened the season with an overtime loss at Southfield A&T, then lost to Indiana Power Carmel High School on the road in week 2. Did rebound with a 66-0 shutout win over Detroit Renaissance. And for King, they opened the season with a loss at Indiana. The team called Warren Central out of the Indianapolis area, and then they came back last week with a 68-0 shutout victory to open league play over Detroit and Mumford. So both teams are coming off victories to open league play, but this game every year means a little something more. There's Coach Marvin Rushing now in his second season, patrolling the sidelines for the technicians. Cass Tech adorned in forest green and white. And on the other side, Ty Spencer leading the Crusaders from King. They'll be wearing their white uniforms, accented with black and gold. And we are just about underway here at Cass Tech High School. Johnny Kane, Rob Rubick, Natalie Kerwin with you here on a Friday night. Kicking off for King, Terrence Moore. And this football game is underway. Look out, with speed on the return. Past midfield and knocked out of bounds. Sean Hodges, the return man for Cass Tech. That's going to be outstanding starting field position. And this home crowd is fired up.
You think Sean Hodges has confidence? He caught that kick above his head, which is pretty impressive. He catches it, he gets a nice lead block and finds a seam, and then just acceleration and using those running back skills that he's going to display here for the rest of the evening. The ideal return man. Coming in your living room a little bit there, number 2, and he does what he really likes to do, gets out of bounds without even getting hit. That frustrates the 4 white jerseys around him.
I saw Terrence Moore slide when he was coming in on the tackle. Make sure the footing is sound here tonight. With a lot of athletes on both sides. They do stop play here before we get underway. So officially Cass Tech will begin at the 45-yard line. I'm not sure exactly what's going on down at the field. Try to get that sorted out for you. Ron Blevins, head referee tonight, always does an outstanding job. And just a little bit of a pause before this one gets underway. Again, you can feel the excitement, the anticipation of this game. You know, keep in mind, King won both these games against Cass a season ago, one by 7 points and one by 6 points. So for Cass Tech, they're trying to erase that bitter taste they've been holding in their mouth for about a calendar year. LaShawn Muntfield, the senior quarterback for Cass Tech, fakes it to Sean Hodges, looks for his receiver. That ball almost came down with it. Was Javen Sewell. Pretty good throw in between coverage. Bring up second down. There's LaShawn Muntfield. Again, 5'9", 185 though. Look what he's been able to do. 8 touchdowns, 3 picks. Played some heady competition earlier in the year. And again, it's a guy who can do it both ways. Also been asked to mentor the young man, C.J. Spencer, who we're going to call quite a bit tonight as he eventually passes the baton off to Spencer to lead this Tech program moving forward. Muntfield on 2nd and 10. This time does hand it off. Hodges with a stiff arm, tries to stay in bounds. Picks up about 2 yards on the play.
Well, let's get back to that opening play where you saw Muntfield. He threw it, and a great job by the corner on that side. That was Tion Parks. He kind of undercut the route. And if it was for Sewell going up high, then it was almost intercepted. And then from almost an interception, Johnny, became almost an unbelievable catch as it went through Sewell's hands. But now, a 3rd down and 8 situation. This gives the big fellas up front, namely number 4, Kenny Merriweather, a chance to really pin his ears back.
C.J. Sadler, the talented freshman here at the bottom side of your screen, but they're going to roll Muntfield to his right. Muntfield with a pump fake. Up past the 40-yard line and brought down right at about the 39. Flag comes in late. But that'll bring up 4th down.
We have sideline warning on the defense.
For the technicians.
So you saw a warning assessed to Ty Spencer's crew over there on the King sideline. Now we got a 4th and 5. And Cass Tech, Rubes, looks like they're going to go for it here. Now Muntfield does punt the football as well.
Yeah, he does punt. He's a good pooch punter as well.
And that's what they'll do. Muntfield puts it away, nobody deep for King. Ball checks up inside the 10-yard line. He'll come to a rest at about the 7-yard line, and that's where Martin Luther King will take over. Kamari Anderson there to down it inside the 10-yard line, and there's the talented senior quarterback who's headed to the University of Oregon. We're talking about Dante Moore.
After Dante watched Oregon get slapped by Georgia starting out this season, I wonder if he's thinking, man,
he's a hard commit. He's a hard commit.
I think he is a hard commit, and it's a really good fit. Oregon likes to throw the ball. Over the years, they've been a throw first type of team, and Dante Moore, you will see here shortly, can really sling the ball.
Of course, last year's state champs, Mr. Football, led the Crusaders to the Division I state championship, looking to repeat. There's a look into his eyes.
He's got those young tackles, and he also has to deal with new receiving core. None of the guys were part of his receiving core last year.
That's a big storyline. You mentioned King dealing with a couple of injuries, some of the senior offensive linemen. So bring in some underclassmen, a little bit less experience, and you know Cass Tech's going to try to exploit that. But they're going to go 3 wide. You see the double back protection in there that Dante Moore pinned up inside his own 10-yard line. Moore hands the football off. Sterling Anderson Jr., tough yards. Falls forward, picks up a couple. Let's take a look at the King Crusaders up front. You mentioned Messiah Blair going to get an opportunity to play some tackle here today. Number 57, Ramsey Stevens, Jalen Courtney, Ezekiel Bradley Lewis, and Antonio Johnson at the left tackle position.
We're going to see how Messiah holds up. Not normally going 2 ways, but with a couple of the tackles not playing here tonight for King, 2 of their really solid players, he's forced into action to help the freshman Deshaun Wheeler as well.
2nd and 7. Little quick screen pass to the outside, looking for Sterling Anderson, but the Cass Tech defense was right there. Derek Jackson, the 3rd, in on the stop. Let's look at some of the impact players for the Technicians here tonight. And they've got some good ones, don't they, Rubes?
Well, it starts with their 2 defensive ends. You look at Anderson and Thompson. One going to Cincinnati, the other one going to Michigan State. That being Thompson. These are really big high school kids that are athletic and run, and they're going to cause fits. So if you're going to beat this King team and really hold Dante Moore down, pressure from the edges. That'll drive any quarterback crazy. You get a chance right now. I'm sorry, Giant, with 3rd down and 5. Let's keep an eye right here on this edge. That's going to be Jalen Thompson.
3rd and long. Look at the bunch formation. Trips receivers here on the near side of your screen. Shotgun snap. Got a wide open target, but hit immediately right at the sticks. It's going to depend on the spot. Jamar Davis on the receiving end. Caught him in stride, and they're going to move the sticks.
Well, you're going to see 55 on the left. He gets just pulled right to the ground, right at the end of the screen. But just a slant route, pretty easy pitch and catch. And when you got a guy like Dante Moore, he's throwing hundreds of those, and he's very accurate. And what it does also can frustrate that D-line, John. You get it in, you get it out. They don't get a chance to get the pressure on you.
Corey Sadler, the freshman, in on the stop. Fresh set of downs for the Crusaders.
You're going to see this a lot. They're going to move their defensive ends. Now this time you see Anderson, Kamari's on the left side in 55. Jalen Thompson is on the right in that 3-man front.
And another flag comes in. Again, in the early portion of this game, both these teams, wanting to get after it a little bit, but the whistle has disrupted the early rhythm. As Marvin Russian looking on, there's Ty Spencer. Again, they had 1 sideline warning on the King side. About 4 minutes gone by here in the opening quarter. Moore with the fake. Looking deep. Jameel Croft got behind the defense. Here comes the pursuit, but it's going to be too late. Jameel Croft Jr. Whoa.
Wow. What a throw by that young man. You could run down the field and take it in your hand and put it in the receiver's hand. Would not be any better than this. And they go after Corey Sadler, the freshman. Number 1, he got caught peeking in the backfield, and Croft does a rush. Corey's running him down a little bit, but Croft does a little bit of the zigzag, getting to the end zone, which separates him. But what a throw. I've been watching high school football for 30 years. I don't know if I've ever seen a prettier throw than that. That was beautiful. That, unbelievable. Oregon's getting something special.
Well, Jameel Croft showing some speed, too. He's the only regular 2-way starter. Senior plays wide receiver and also the free safety there. Very integral to what King wants to do. And what a connection between Moore and Croft. And the visitors strike first in this game to silence the home crowd. Another look at it. Doesn't get much prettier than that. Croft off to the races, leaving the freshman in pursuit. The Crusaders lead it early by a touchdown. You're watching high school football on Bally Sports. All right, Rubes, let's take a look at that touchdown play. 82-yard TD reception from Dante Moore to Jameel Croft Jr.
All right, I'm going to show you what happens to the young fella here. This is where we're looking, right outside. All right, let it run and get ready to stop it. Let it go. You're going to see Jameel Croft stop it right there. Well, got past a little bit. Anyways, his Croft goes by him. Sadler gets caught still looking at the quarterback. He's got cover 3, which means he has a deep third behind him, so he can't allow anyone to get past him. He gets caught flat-footed. You can see right there, it's a 4-yard lead, and no matter how fast you are against someone like Croft, that's a lot of yards to gain. But you got to play your technique first. You got to tell those DBs, every play, Johnny, is a pass play. That's what you have to ingrain into them. Every play is a pass play. Once you know it's not, then you can break your technique. But he got his technique broke early on, and that's part of the thing about being a freshman. We talk about everything he can do physically. Well, it's also a learning process when you're a young man. Remember, last year he's playing 8th grade football. And now he's playing against one of the best teams in the state of Michigan.
4-play, 93-yard drive. King with the early lead, Castech with it. And a flag comes in. Saw Sean Hodges on the return, got up near the 40-yard line.
I think that young man right there, he's got his hands full tonight, the white hat.
Oh, Blevins.
Hey, what's in the front? We got a hold on the receive team. There's going to be a 10-yard penalty. 1st and 10.
So that'll back Castech back to the 33-yard line. You have Marvin Russian looking on. They want to run the football tonight as much as they can. But they got some weapons on the outside, so they're going to try to, as he said, try to beat him a little bit, keep him honest vertically and horizontally. So we'll see a lot of screens here tonight, some draw plays as well. And movement looks like it's going to be false start. It's going to go against Castech. That'll back him up another 5 yards.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty. We're going to replay 1st down.
Javen Sewell got a little jump out. He's the wide receiver to the right. Now you're going to see, we're going to look here. We get the big angle, the wide angle here. Number 1, Corey Sadler. They got him isolated a little bit on Jacoby Oglesby. But don't be deceived. It looks like man, but he's going to fall back and probably play quarters as he bails.
This time he looks for Sadler. Sadler looking for a little space, and a nice job by the swarming defense of Martin Luther King. They come in 4 King players in on the tackle, including Jameel Croft Jr.
So King's coming out disguising some coverages. And I say disguising, they show like they're playing man outside, but you can see 22, who's already Jacoby Oglesby, who's already bailed out. He's got deep quarter, so he's bailing on the snap. And here's a look at Sadler getting it. He loves to cut back against the grain. Coach Ty Spencer, we were talking a little bit. He said, Rob, we have to pursue inside out because of the way Sadler likes to bring it back towards the line of scrimmage, back towards the inside.
2nd and long. Mumpfield throws a dart. Defended well and knocked down by Tayon Parks, the senior defensive back for King.
Yeah, Tion did a nice job coming over the top without going through the back. That's a difficult thing for any safety to do, but you can see he's got really good length. You look at Tion, he's 6 foot 155. Here's a look at Mumpfield. A lot of good job, pocket, good time, but that's just better coverage on. He's able to get over the top of Sewell and deflect the ball. Big 3rd and 15. You have to be careful. You're down a touchdown. It's early yet. Don't force something. If you're Mumpfield in this situation, the quarterback in green, just B, throw something safe that you sure you flash out in front, make sure there's no white jerseys.
4 receivers set. Hodges in there to help protect. Mumpfield with time had a man, but just a little too far, and that's going to bring up 4th down. He's looking for Elijah Jordan. Pretty good secondary coverage by Martin Luther King. That's going to bring up a punting situation. Again, LaShawn Mumpfield handles both the quarterbacking and punting duties for the technicians.
Oh, they missed an opportunity. You know, Elijah Jordan, the receiver, had inside position, and the ball was just about 1.5 yards, 2 yards too far inside, and he kept his route outside, and that's what you want to do. Let the quarterback bring you to the middle of the field. It could use a little bit more air, Johnny, just to let him being Jordan, adjust to the throw.
Jameel Croft back deep for Martin Luther King. Great punt from Mumpfield. Croft will back away from it. And that ball is going to come to rest at the 31-yard line where Detroit King will take over. Hey, you won't want to miss next week's Bally Sports Detroit Football Fridays Game of the Week. Tune in as Detroit Catholic Central takes on Brother Rice at 7:30 on Bally Sports Detroit Extra. That's Detroit Catholic Central and Brother Rice at 7:30 next Friday, September 23rd, only on Bally Sports Detroit Extra, presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
And that's one they need to have a camera in the booth, because I believe former Michigan wide receiver Grant Perry, Brother Rice grad, will be doing the analyst work along with Justin Sasanti, Grand Valley Laker, and a Detroit Catholic Central grad. So you got 2 analysts, Johnny, with the 2 opposing schools. So it could be a little one-on-one death match before the night's done.
We're going to hear from Grant Perry coming up momentarily as he's going to visit with our Natalie Kerwin. We're going to get him up in our booth coming up in the second quarter as well. King with it again. Handoff. Sterling Anderson picks up a couple of yards, falls forward. That's what he does. Little extracurriculars after the play. Nothing to see here.
I got a feeling you're going to be saying that a lot this evening. You got to remember, some of these young men played Little League together. Little League football for some of the same teams. And you know, they were teammates at one time, and then they played against each other in the Little League and the Rocket football, coming through all the way through to 7th, 8th grade, and now they're either on the same team or they're competing against each other. And no one you like to be better than your best friend or your sibling almost.
That's it.
Yeah.
Cass kid's going to Cass. King kid's going to King. Sideline warning assessed to Cass Tech now. Inside 6 minutes to play, opening quarter. Sterling Anderson in motion. It gives him 4 receivers on the outside. Pressure there. Little shovel pass underneath. Anderson nowhere to go. He's going to lose yardage on the play. Cass Tech in there in a hurry. They brought pressure, got to the quarterback, and got a loss on the play.
Well, 55 in green is already making himself known here tonight. His presence is felt very much by Dante Moore on that last play. He's a little bit up, but look at the top. He's going to come off the edge, and Dante Moore, he takes the path where Moore wants to get the little screen, slip it out to Anderson, but instead, because his big body's there, it forces Dante to step left, ruins the timing of it, and allows the rest of the defense to see it and close and gather and make the play for little or no gain.
Zachary Boston in on the stop. 2nd down. Out of the pocket. Moore looking deep. Flag comes in late. That's going to be pass interference going against Cass Tech.
That's a tough one, because we got to understand about high school. People are going to say it was uncatchable because the receiver's going to the post and that was thrown to the corner. But in high school, it does not have to be a catchable ball. They take that judgment out of the official's hand, but all they're looking for is contact as the ball's in the air, and that's what you're going to have, Johnny. That was a 3rd and long, too. That's tough.
We had pass interference off defense. It's going to result in a 1st down.
See, you look at the end of the game, and people say the turnovers is what decides it. He's throwing the corner. You're getting grabbed by the jersey right there. Oops, I was a little bit late on it. But you can see him get grabbed by the jersey and held. So maybe he ended up getting spun to the post. Maybe he was trying to go to the corner. It was a pretty blatant hold. But nonetheless, that goes down to me in the turnover category. You got 3rd down and 8. That penalty allows King to keep the ball instead of punting it.
Another spread formation. Play action. This time looking for Croft. Another flag comes in. And they might get C.J. Sadler.
And C.J. is going to argue this, but they got him This is what we call a choice or a China route, where Croft is going to come down about 5 yards, start going across the middle, and then spin out of it. As he spins out of it, you're going to see number one, if we get a look at it here, Corey Sadler, he's got Croft right by the jersey.
We got pass interference on the defense. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty that will result in a first down.
So another first down on back-to-back penalties. Another look at it.
Right there, you see the jersey top on the left side? Just, there's no question that's penalty.
That's freshman on senior. So now ball at the 35-yard line. King in business. Sterling Anderson, a little bit of room, moving to his left side, cuts back inside the 20. Anderson still on his feet, down inside the 10-yard line. Sterling Anderson, he's a playmaker.
Well, this is a good job at line of scrimmage. Let it run now. You're going to see a really good job, only a three-man front, a good job with the kickout block by Ezekiel Bradley Lewis, number 51, and then Anderson does a lot on his own. But look at big number 54, Antonio Johnson in white, getting all the way down the field, still road grading for him. Big number 54, look at him coming. I'm waddling a little bit, but I'm still coming. I'm coming in case that ball comes loose. That's just great effort. Look at that 1-2. It's like a bowling ball knocking down pins going down the field. So that's just a great effort. You get that type of effort from your offensive line, it's going to be a good night.
Coach Spencer, says he can do all things. We want to try to get the ball in his hands as much as possible to let him make plays in space. There you saw it. Moore audibles into something else, overthrows his intended target. He was looking for Tayshawn Henry Johnson, but just missed his mark.
Yeah, and that's the one's on Dante a little bit. You know, no matter how good you are, you still have to have fundamentals. In that time, I really thought he could have planted his feet and delivered the ball where he was still kind of backpedaling a little bit. Johnny kind of off his back foot and he threw it out. It's an easier throw if you kind of square turn your body, half hitch it, you know, and point your shoulder where you want the ball to go. And he rushed a little bit, but when you have his skill set, it's hard not to do that because you know your body's capable of making so many throws, and it's going to be called upon at the next level, and then hopefully Dante the next level after that.
Second goal from the 10-yard line. Three receivers on the near side. They're going to hand the football off. Sterling Anderson twirls his way into the end zone. Touchdown, King. This kid can play. Part of the 4x100 and 4x200 relay teams. You saw the burst of speed as soon as he got the football there.
And this is just a natural crease is going to open up to your left here. A good job picking up the blitzing linebacker by the right guard that time, Ramsey Stevens. And that's just, as you said, speed, but that's a pretty good hold. Right now, Cass is up without identity defense. I don't know if they want to sure if they go on a three-man front, four-man front, what they're going to do. Because of Dante Moore's ability to throw the football, they really got him spread out in the secondary, but it's opening up the running game.
A look at Sterling Anderson getting a blow. One more look at it. That's a big hole. That's a big man. Spins his way into the end zone. Detroit King up 2 scores. 4:02 left to play, opening quarter.
Welcome back to Cass Tech. A beautiful night tonight in downtown Detroit. Now, you've heard Johnny Kane and Rob Rubick call the first quarter of this game, but I want to introduce you to the newest member of our team, someone else you'll hear on the call tonight, former Brother Rice and University of Michigan standout wide receiver Grant Perry. Grant, for you to be able to be at in this atmosphere tonight, a huge rivalry game. I mean, you were in these shoes once. How cool is it for you to be here?
It's amazing being back in this atmosphere, just seeing this showdown. I know both these teams really wanted a lot, and I came from the Brother Rice CC rivalry, and that was just as equally as competitive. I know these guys are going to be fighting out here hard tonight, so looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a shootout.
For you to now be on the other side of things, getting an opportunity to go in the booth, is this something that you always wanted to try or you thought you'd get an opportunity to do?
You know, it kind of just came. It was kind of just, you know, Jeff came to me and was like, hey, you know, we'd love to get you in the booth. And I had coached, I had played, and I knew all aspects of the game. So being able to kind of take a step back, step up into the booth, I thought it was an amazing opportunity. I love to talk about both schools, and this is an amazing opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, great to have you with us. Looking forward to you calling the second quarter of this game with our guy, Johnny Kane, up in the booth.
All right, Natalie, looking forward to having GP, Grant Perry, come up here.
You know what, though? I've done this for 30 years. They've never shown my high state championship highlights when I was at Newberry.
First of all, they have film.
They did not. It was VHS. That wasn't even VHS.
Sean Hodges, look out. Hodges in the return. He's got one blocker, one man to beat. Tiptoeing up the sideline, and they're going to mark him out at the 10-yard line. Sean Hodges with a burst of speed.
And this is all about special teams. This is the third return for Tech in this game, and Cass Tech has really done a good job. They've had turned it into good field position. This time it's just really, it hits outside seam out of their lanes. That's just not a good job in coverage. You never loop. When you're going down on a kickoff cover, you have to stay in your lane for that reason. When you start running around people, you create natural openings, and with a guy like Hodges, he'll take full advantage of it. And nice job, actually, eventually been 19 in white, and that's Terrence Moore, the kicker, was able to run him out of bounds. If not, it's going to be a touchdown for Hodges.
You know what Marvin Rushing said when we talked to him this week of Sean Hodges? He's explosive. He's like a bottle rocket. Give him a little room, watch him dance, he's a threat to take it to the house. Well, case in point. So they're going to mark him out. Looks like the 14-yard line is where Cass Tech will take over. Needless to say, their best starting field positions, they try to cut into this 2-touchdown deficit.
Going empty, Johnny. Quarterback draw, sometimes they spread them out.
And whistle comes in, they're going to blow it dead. Let's take a look at this Cass Tech offense. Getting ready to go to work here one more time. Khalif Canny Jr., Bill O'Brien, Jalen Washington, Jelani Walker, and Jalen Thompson, the Michigan State commit, playing right tackle. And the skill positions, we just saw Hodges. Kamari Anderson's committed to Cincinnati. Corey Sadler Jr., be impressive to see, or interesting to see where he ends up. Jalen Howe and Elijah Jordan as well. A lot of talent, a lot of speed. And a kid like Corey Sadler, that's when they put the ATH next to your name. Just an athlete, play all over the field. Hodges goes in motion. Mumpfield's going to keep it himself. Cuts back in and picks up a couple of yards on the play.
Well, the line judges, the side judge is going to get Corey Sadler for leaving early here. And that should have been blown dead. Don't even let them in high school. If you go early, cross the line, once you go into the neutral zone, it's a dead play. And number 1 in green. And number 1 in green here, ball is not snapped yet. He says, oh, I got to go. He tries to reset. Jameel Croft is saying, hey, come on. I could call that one now. That's
How
not
good
hard.
is that battle, though?
Yeah.
Huh? Both
well,
sides.
You know, they put their horse defensively. They say King puts Jameel Croft on Sadler. That shows the respect they have for a freshman. This is not a senior who's headed to, Alabama. This is a freshman in high school.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty. We're going to replay first down.
I'm going to ask you again in 3 years, and he may be a senior headed to Alabama.
Yeah, he's special now.
Already has offers from Michigan and Michigan State. The number 1 in green. 2nd and long. Ball at the 19. Mumpfield escapes the first wave. Throws downfield. Got a man. Javen Sewell on the receiving end.
We talked about this in the open, Johnny. What makes Mumpfield special? We know he doesn't have quite the arm talent of a Dante Moore, but we said he extends plays with his feet and keeps his eyes up. He's able to elude the defender and guys keep working down the field. Nothing better than playing for a quarterback like that, either as a receiver. You keep working because you know he's going to go for a long time back there, and the play is never over until you hear that whistle. He can make something happen.
3rd and short now. They're going to blow this one dead.
Oh, that's a tough penalty now. He's going to be second down and about 3. Now it's going to turn into 2nd and 8. Oh, offside.
5-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
You know, I'm victim of my own advice. I told you in high school, if you jump into neutral zone, they blow the play dead. And so I assumed it was a motion penalty when they blew it dead. But the defense, King jumps in the neutral zone. Now it gives you a 1st and goal. So you have 4 downs to get in from the 5-yard line, or 2-yard line actually.
No, you're right the first time.
Man, you got Hodges, and you got Mumpfield back there. I don't put this in the air.
Officially at the 3-yard line is where they spot the football. Number 16 is Mumpfield. Number 2 is Sean Hodges. And I don't think they got there. Handed the ball off to Hodges. Came right up the middle, came about a yard short. That'll bring up 2nd and goal. 1.5 to play here, opening quarter.
Very stout up front. You look at Garrett and Blair and Fletcher and Merriweather, and then also Samuel Washington, number 10, comes in from like the linebacker position, and right there is a good look at him. And anything that was leaking, any gaps opening, he was filling. That's tough. Tough to make yards. They maybe pick up how much, Johnny? Half a yard or so?
They gave him a yard. Ball's now at the 2-yard line. Javen Sewell just checked back into the ball game. Moves into the slot. Mumpfield this time will take it under center, keep it himself. LaShawn Mumpfield plowing forward. Touchdown, Castet. Okay. Like the technicians can breathe a little bit now. Finally got some things going offensively. Able to lean on their senior quarterback to take it in himself. And now a point after away,
right here,
making it a 1-touchdown deficit.
2 DTs, I'm sorry. There's a bubble. The linebacker's off the ball. So you see that as a quarterback, automatic. Just tap your center and go sneak ahead. You tried to do a better job sealing, but he was able to get in with his quickness. You know those DTs, if they're on the guards, they're going to slant inside towards the center. But a good job by Mumpfield using his quickness.
Point after from George Sanchez is good. 14-7 now. One more look at it.
Well, you can see the linebacker is the only one there. That's Stephen McCrary, 33 in white. And Mumpfield does a good job because those 2 DTs now, they slanted hard. When that center's uncovered, you know what I'm saying, John? If the center's uncovered, you have to protect that gap. So 1 or 2 of them are going to pinch inside. They want you to kind of do that too, the defense. But if you do a good job of sealing with your guards, it's going to be a touchdown. And that's what Cass Tech did, at least on the one side.
Well, one of the things they like about LaShawn Mumpfield, again, is his versatility. You can see him obviously works well, twirling it from the shotgun, but also up under center. He's got a good body on him. Able to do some damage there in short yardage situations, but a selfless player too. That's one thing Marvin Rushing says he loves about him. I mean, you got the incumbent quarterback comes in this year, and he's been asked to mentor the future quarterback, Corey Sadler Jr. He's done that. First day in practice, when they put the pads on, he said they both went after each other pretty hard. It's kind of like the old guard to the new guard. He said they got after it, but afterward, no hard feelings. Job was open. They competed for it. They're going to split a little bit at that position as the season moves along, but it is LaShawn Mumpfield who's the leader of this football team here in his senior campaign, and he's embracing it.
You like him, Johnny. I know when we were doing our talk with Coach Rushing that you were pretty excited when you talked to me because you've done games of Cass before, and you really liked his play and you liked his leadership. You were asking.
Well, you heard in the open, just listening to him talk about what this means to the city of Detroit, how these 2 programs, they carry the mantle for the entire PSL, Detroit Public School League. We're going to get to the Rubik's Cube momentarily. Your keys to the game as Cass Tech kicks it away. Going to be a short kick, an opportunity for a decent return. Up at the 46-yard line, ball came loose late, but they're going to blow it dead. That was Samuel Washington on the return. All right, Rubik's Cube, what do you got? What are your keys?
Well, we're going to look here. For Martin Luther King, it's tick-tock. That means
The clock is running. Protect your quarterback. Give him 3 to 3.5 seconds. You'll be fine. If you give Dante Moore that much time, he will find the open receiver and get it to him. And then also defensively for King, you want Cass to have to earn it. No big plays. Coach Spencer doesn't want his secondary to get anyone behind him deep as the deepest. He said, and for Cass Tech, offensively spread the wealth. If you're Mumfield, the quarterback, you got to get everyone involved. You need all your players, your receivers, as well as Hodges the back. And defensively, seek and destroy. There's 2 big defensive ends. When you look at Thompson and Anderson, they need to put their sights on Dante Moore and get him on the ground.
Love that. Seek and destroy. Never playing you in Battleship. I'm going to tell you that right now.
It was that little 2-1 that was hard to get, wasn't it? I hated that.
You never cease to amaze me. And again, a whistle. That'll be a late substitution. Sam Washington going to check in for King. And now the referee signals ready for play. So again, more of the spread formation being implemented by King. Sterling Anderson now lines up on the left side. Bobbled snap. Anderson going to have to make hay with it. Anderson spinning around. Going to be taken down by C.J. Sadler and company. That's going to be a loss of 4 on the play.
But an amazing run. This is a la Barry Sanders by Anderson. This could have been about an 8 to 10 yard loss, and Anderson's able to make something out of nothing. Look, there's nothing there. There's a bunch of green shirts. He keeps spinning and moving and bobbing and weaving, gets it back to only a 3 yard loss instead of an 8 yard loss. Now this comes in the hands of Dante Moore. This looks like a pretty surefire passing situation. You're going to see the front now of Cass with only 3 down linemen. They're playing like a 3-3-5 with 3 linebackers who are going to be widening in coverage to help against the slot too.
We're going to have some extra time to talk this one over as we have reached the end of quarter number 1. So the first 2 touchdowns scored by Martin Luther King, but Cass Tech able to answer to cut into the deficit. We're going to be joined by the young man Grant Perry, the former Wolverine, on the other side of this break. You're watching high school football on Bally Sports. Stay with us. Let's take a look at exactly how close these 2 programs are from one another. We're talking about 3 miles between Cass and King. Both these teams want to be playing at Ford Field. In all reality, they can both walk to Ford Field from their respective high schools. We bring in Grant Perry for the second quarter here. GP, just heard you downstairs with Natalie Kerwin. Great job. What's your assessment of what you've seen so far through quarter 1?
Hey, man, can you tell this is the showdown in the Motown or what? These guys are playing ball, aggressive play. They're setting up the run, and I think that's why the Dante Moore's pass there to Croft. Jameel Croft was a success there early on. So look for them to establish the run, look for deep passes, looking for matchups here. Excited for it. Good to be here.
It's good to have you with us. I'll tell you what, this spread formation has worked out well. They're out of the play action. He throws an absolute dart, but a little bit underthrown. Looked good leaving his hands, but he did have pressure, forced him to maybe hurry the throw just a little bit, as he underthrew his intended target, Jamar Davis.
Yeah, as you can see here, they're trying to hit this bubble as a fake, try to bring that defense on up. They bite, had his guy open, but just a little bit of an underthrow there by Dante. I'm sure he wants that one back.
Now you can tell this is, talk about a Power 5 prospect. You can tell when he throws it, man, it's a beautiful spiral. Again, the pressure wasn't there. That would have been another 6 points. But Jamar Davis had beaten the coverage. As it is, it's going to be 3rd and a long ways. They're called 17 yards. More pressure coming. He gets rid of it at the sideline. Going to be short of the sticks, but Jameel Croft Jr. right there. Corey Sadler Jr. in coverage. They're going to be about 2 yards shy. They'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, it comes out hot. Good timing route here. Good throw. Good catch by Croft. I think they're going to be going at Corey Sadler here early on. They're going to test his experience. True freshman, but got a lot of experience. Look for this matchup later on here.
You saw Jalen Thompson there bringing the pursuit. Big number 55. Headed to Michigan State next year. He was in pursuit of Dante Moore. So on 4th and short, ball at the 45-yard line, King will go for it. And there'll be a timeout on the field taken by King. So Rob Rubick, who's in impeccable physical shape, just left the booth. I saw him huffing it down the stairs here. Leapt over a fence that said "Do not cross," and somehow you have made it down to the. We're over here. You looking at me? Hey, look into the camera. What do you see down there?
Well, the whole stand's looking at you because you command the field, Johnny Kane. Yeah, you know, some on the field you don't notice as much when you're up in the booth. That ball came out hot out of his hand. That is a big-time arm when he threw the out there. And he did miss the one, Grant, as you said, down the middle. It was a seam route. The receiver did a good job staying on the hash, and they're just on Dante, just underthrew him by about 5 yards. If not, that's going to be a touchdown as well. But, man, pretty impressive to watch this young man spin the ball from the field level.
Yeah, I know you're used to watching games, obviously, from up here, the bird's eye view, but we'll be checking in with you periodically to see what you're seeing from the sidelines. Unique vantage point, because these guys are hitting hard, and they're coming at you fast on those sidelines. Keep your head on a swivel.
All right, 4th and 3, Grant. What do you got, bud? Think about it. What do you want to see?
I think they're going to run it here.
Sterling Anderson. Oh, met immediately. No, sir. He was stopped immediately in his tracks by Caleb Richmond, the senior linebacker. Look out. Jalen Howe also in there. Look at this. Ooh. Caleb Richmond just blew up that play. I think everybody knew, well, most people knew that Sterling Anderson was going to get the ball. But that being said, he's typically still seems to fall forward, but right there, just no hole.
No, Cass Tech saw that one coming. Good pressure up the middle. Unfortunately, they didn't convert. Cass Tech ball here. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, it could be a big swing because now Cass Tech gets the football right at midfield at the 50-yard line. Minute gone by here in quarter number 2. Sean Mumpfield fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, spins in. Ball comes loose. King's got it. I believe Washington came away with the fumble inside the 40-yard line is where they're going to spot it. Cass Tech can't stand prosperity.
And they gotta take advantage when they get the ball on that 4th and 3, that turnover. They needed a good drive there. King's got a little bit of momentum right now. Let's see what they do with it.
So Mumpfield puts it on the dirt. You have a good look at that one, Rubes?
Yeah, I did. He got stood up pretty well, but I really thought he'd take a shot down the field, almost like a turnover. When you stop on 4th down and 3, you might want to go up top and just take the big shot. You had Sadler outside with man coverage one-on-one. It's a good time to spin it.
Looks like they found your turnover chain, too.
I'm going to become best friends with the back judge here, whatever his position is, because I'm kind of in his way, so I got to back up.
Just trying to stay out of his way.
He's bigger than me.
There aren't many in here that are.
Kings line up in these bunch sets here. Watch for a slant here. They like to get these guys moving, mess up the defense. Let's see if it happens.
Yeah, good call. Bunch formation here, right to lower half of your screen. Late substitution coming in for Cass Tech. As Rashawn Thornton checks into the ball game to join that bunch formation in the bottom of your screen. Play action. Here comes pursuit. Had to get rid of it. Flag comes in late. Dante Moore took a shot. Another flag comes in. A little bit of chirping.
Yeah, a little bit of chirping. This is the showdown in Motown. There's going to be some aggressive play here. Dante wanted to cross her across the middle, but the pressure was too much. Couldn't get it out.
Jalen Thompson had the original pressure.
Boom, takes a big hit. Good defense by number 4, Cassius Shivers. It's going to be a matchup type of day.
All right, another look at it. There's number.
Ooh.
Oh, so he came in late.
Came in late.
So who was the?
Couple flags on the ground. We have a hold on the offense. We have a pass interference on the defense. That's offset. We have unsportsmanlike on 55 green. That would be a 15-yard penalty, and that will result in a first down.
So the penalty that'll be assessed goes against Jalen Thompson. Again, we talk about the Michigan State commit. He's a difference maker, 6'5", 280 pounds. Look at him. That is a grown man, ladies and gentlemen. And coming off the edge, you've seen him bring pressure all night long. That time came a little bit late, so now 1st and 10, ball to 23. Sterling Anderson bounces out to the outside, nowhere to go. Thrown out of bounds by number 9, Caleb Richmond.
East and west here. You got to get north and south. These Cass Tech defenders are going to be running real lateral, especially Jalen Thompson there on the edge. Good play there by Cass Tech. Boom. Good hustle there by Caleb Richmond. Gets in there, cuts off the angle. Loss of 1.
Yeah, with that much speed on the field, you talk about it. North and south, a little bit more effective than east and west. 2nd and long. Moore, touch pass, perfectly defended by the freshman, C.J. Sadler. Great pass coverage that time, Grant.
Yeah, absolutely. Corey Sadler's just in phase with him. He's right on him. Puts his hand up, makes a nice deflection there. Yeah, he wants payback for that early touchdown that he gave up against Jameel.
You remember the best corner you went up against in high school?
Honestly, yeah, Jordan Lewis, number 1 for Cass Tech.
There you go.
Yeah, he was the real deal. And they're saying Corey Sadler is going to be the same way, so looking forward to it.
Bright future ahead for number 1 in green. Same can be said for number 5 in white. Moore across the middle. Anderson trying to shake a tackle. Unable to do so, but down at the 20-yard line. Good job trying to limit the yards after catch. And that's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, they're just running a little angle route out of the backfield here. He catches it. That's a good catch in traffic, knowing that there's a linebacker right there about to hit you. Good catch, short gain, but any yards are positive when you're trying to get the ball moving.
Chase Parker in on the stop. Rubes, what do you see down there?
Well, I'm just going back to what Ty Spencer, the head coach of Martin Luther King, told us, that he'd be comfortable kicking at the 15-yard line, but they're out on the 20 here for 4th down, so he's going for it.
Yeah, 4th and long. More with time, another quick hitter. And that's going to be right at the sticks. Ball comes loose. They're going to whistle it dead. He got enough for the 1st down. He was looking for Lamont Wilcoxon. And how about that? On 4th and long, Dante Moore, you saw that quick trigger. Gets it out of his hands in a hurry.
Yeah, here we go. They're running out of the bunch set, trying to get these defenders mixed up on who they're guarding there. Good catch by him. Just did his deal there, and we're moving the chains here. Good catch. He was down, not a fumble, but good tackle there by Cass Tech. But those bunch sets, look for those bunch sets here. They're going to really try to mix it up because the defenders have a hard time covering the crossers coming out of the bunches.
That was my mistake. That was Jamar Davis on the receiving end for the 1st down for Martin Luther King. So now ball at the 12-yard line. Dante Moore back to pass, back of the end zone. Touchdown King, Kenny Merriweather. Give him a little bit of time, let him find his target, and Merriweather was wide open in the back of the end zone.
Here we go. We got a little divide route here. He's going to be crossing face here. They're in a little too high look here. He gets lost in translation covering this corner route here. Number 2 spreads out, loses his man wide open. And for Dante Moore, that's just pitch and catch out in the backyard right there. That's easy style.
So Merriweather predominantly playing defensive end. He's a former receiver turned into DN. Might be a former DN going back to receiver. That's a lot of fun playing offense, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And we...
All right, we're going to take a short time out here. We're going to go to break as King opens it back up to another 2-touchdown advantage. There it is. Wide open. Merriweather into your living room. King leads it by 2 scores.
He's a playmaker for sure. Like I say, very accurate with his arm, but one thing that he really does have is his legs. He can use his legs and make plays and extend plays, and they have a lot of great talent on that team for sure, and I know that the receivers he has, the O-line, and the defense he has a great team behind him, but I feel that on the other side, where we're going to be at, we're going to dominate.
Yeah, you heard Dante Moore. There's a lot of mutual respect between both of these programs, both, of course, loaded with history and talent, and you just can't deny those facts. But both Dante and Cass's quarterback, LaShawn Mumfield, know they're two different players out there. They bring their own skills, but they both told me we encourage and have high praise for each other. We congratulate each other, say good job. There's a ton of respect there, but they also made sure to tell me when their teams are lined up on the same field, it's serious business between the lines.
Well, you look at Dante Moore, I asked Coach Spencer about it, how much different he is this year, now having that whole recruiting process behind him because he was so highly coveted, and obviously he has selected Oregon as his college of choice, but he felt like it was a big load off him, stress-free now, loves his leadership with this team, and you never hear bad words spoken about him. And same can be said for Mumfield as well. Not sure where Mumfield's going to play, but he'll have an opportunity to play on Saturdays as well, but just two fabulous senior leaders. King and Terrence Moore kicking it away. There's C.J. Sadler looking for a little room. Sadler bounces it outside. Ridden out of bounds on the Cass Tech sideline. And now some extracurriculars. Here we go.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, when you've got the man of the future and C.J. Sadler getting rocked out of bounds right in front of the Cass sideline by a King player, tempers flare just a little bit, I would say.
Oh, yeah. Got to protect your guy. Cass Tech sees that. They're going to go in there and break up that scuffle a little bit. It's a good run there by C.J., though. First time we really get to see him with the ball in his hands. Looking forward to more of that, and I'm sure Cass Tech's going to game plan and try to get him more involved here.
Good hit by the senior Corey Webb there right on the Cass Tech sideline. Rubes, were you in there?
Yeah, and here's the deal. Washington, the linebacker for Martin Luther King, should be rewarded. A lot of the guys are starting to come off the bench. He was on the field. He directed them. He said, no, back. So you got all the other guys who are trying to come off the bench to protect their teammates. For Martin Luther King on the Cass Tech side, young man Mr. Washington was an adult, took charge, and did the right thing, getting his teammates to go back to their own bench.
Smart man. Sam Washington. So a couple penalty flags on the field. The officiating crew going to sort this one out. Again, you mentioned it, Grant. You've been a part of some big rivalry games, obviously, and some games mean more. You can say it's just another game. These guys will never say it's just another game. This is the game, and it's a very fine line to walk between being revved up and then crossing that line.
You got to try to find an equal balance because those penalties will hurt you, and we saw that a lot last year between these two teams. Penalties moving them way back, penalties moving them forward. Keep a calm, neutral balance, and I think the team that does that is going to have the best opportunity to improve their field position and succeed here offensively and defensively.
We'll see. These could be offsetting penalties. Cass Tech has already committed 6 penalties for 65 yards in this game and down 2 scores. Here's the call.
We have unsportsmanlike late hit. 15-yard penalty. We have unsportsmanlike on the sideline. Half the distance, 1st and 10.
So that's going to be a 1st and 10 situation for Cass Tech. I believe both penalties. Both penalties assessed to King. There it is. You see a little bit of chirping.
Yeah, they're
from
getting
number
after
9,
it.
Deion Johnson.
The 2x2 set here. Look for 15 to get here in the flat. A little tight end read.
From the 20, nowhere to go for Sean Hodges. In on the stop, number 50 for King. Look out. Jonathan Slack.
Here you go. You got 2 pullers here. They're trying to run a counter play here, but it's a gap scheme play, so you want to be able to have an open gap. Both these gaps were filled. King tackle for loss.
Slack coming in, typically plays on the offensive front, but getting involved defensively. That was a big stop. Excuse me, that number 8 on the helmet, number 50 on the jersey. I believe that is Marquise White, wearing a different jersey than the helmet. That is Marquise White there on the stop for King. That'll bring up 2nd and 11, officially a loss of 1 on the play.
Timeout.
And a timeout for Cass Tech. Here we go. This will be a great opportunity. Again, you get the benefit of the great field position from C.J. Sadler, and then the back-to-back penalties right there. So now you got an opportunity at the 21-yard line. Got to find a way to find the end zone, don't you?
Yeah, got to find an end zone. Positive plays here. You got to, even if it's a couple yards at a time, just move the ball forward. The run game will open up the pass game. Right now, King's playing great defensively on the outsides. Not many throwing lanes for LaShawn. I think that's why we're seeing him run a little bit more today. He's clock's going off in his head. It's going to take a minute here, but Cass Tech's just got to have positive plays. That's all it comes down to. Even if it's 2 yards at a chunk, man, anything positive is a good thing.
How close are you to the timeout, Rubes?
Well, what I'm seeing, and Grant can kind of attest to this, is I'm seeing a more complex passing game by King. When you got guys running free as they have, and you have a quarterback like Dante Moore, number 5 in white, it's a pretty easy pickings, and that's what they've done. They've had 3 or 4 times that guys wide open. We're not seeing that with the Cass Tech offense. Guys are covered, and it's much more difficult for LaShawn Mumfield.
Ball to 21, out of the timeout. And movement up front. That's going to go against Jalen Thompson, the right tackle, number 55.
We're going to replay. 2nd down.
So moving backward now. That'll be the 7th penalty for 70 yards by the technicians here in half number 1. Some things to clean up, but they can find the end zone here. Plenty of football game left against this high-powered team from Martin Luther King.
Well, 3-by-1 here. Let's see what they do. They like to run and pass out of this.
Mumfield with time, throws, connects. Gain of about 7 yards on the play. Javen Sewell on the reception.
Yeah, right here. King's running the zone concept here on defense. Cass Tech knows that. They run a slant, double slant with the flat there. Javon Sewell gets in there in the open field, catches the ball, gaining a couple of yards here, help the 3rd down. Anything you can help for a 3rd down, he'll take it. 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 here. Look for something downfield.
Got to think they're going to look at getting this 1st down, using 2 downs to do so. 4-down territory. This time he overthrows Javen Sewell. And now 4th and long. But where the ball is, that's no knock on the kicker, George Sanchez. But I think in a game like this, they're looking at touchdowns are going to beat King. We're not going to nickel and dime them at 3 points here, 3 points there. They know they're going to continue to score. And I think they're looking at it here as they've got to try to go for it.
I think I see Sanchez running on the field here.
And there's a reason why I'm not in coaching, because I clearly misread that situation. I think they want to get the points here. You see number 80 in green. This is as I was finishing my thought. I should have kept that one to myself. So they're going to go with Sanchez here to try the kick. Mumfield will hold. Good spot, good kick, drills it through. 3 points for George Sanchez.
It's good. We spoke to Coach Russian earlier this week, and he said that he thinks they have the advantage in kicking with Gary Sanchez and Mumfield there. So good job by Coach there taking the points. At this point, you need points. But good drive there. Keeping Dante off the field is, I think, what you have to do at this point.
Yeah, 35-yard field goal from that young man, George Sanchez. And now a message from the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. This special presentation of high school football on Bally Sports Detroit is presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford Dealers. We went to American Coney Island to sit down with both King and Cass Tech head coaches Tyrone Spencer and Marvin Rushing, and they talked about the importance of the brotherhood between these Detroit schools.
We want to both win the game, but we're going to compete. But then outside of that, I mean, you got to root for Detroit, you know what I mean, to go ahead and win. And so I think at the end of the day, working together to better the league, to better, our teams is what it's about.
I think what was special to me was having the parade when we both won the state championship together to show that we have a brotherhood, even though we're rivals, and our kids are together. It's only that night, that day, that we kind of divide to try to see who has the best opportunity to win that day. But ultimately, coach supports us, we support them, our kids support each other, and we're going to look at ways that we can combine our resources along with the other coaches to make sure our kids in the city have the support and infrastructure they need to succeed both off the field and on the field.
At the end of the day, we want people to know that, we're going to give our best effort. We're going to try hard no matter what our situation is. We're not going to have any excuses, and hopefully that the kids follow the same, you know what I mean? And so just that attitude is what we try to have, and we want the whole league to have that same attitude.
Ultimate respect, ultimate respect. These guys understand what this game means, but that's a big deal. When these two teams are at their best, as kind of torchbearers for the PSL, that's when Detroit football is at its best. These are the teams responsible for getting it back to the glory days of years past. We talked about that 8 combined state championships over the last 15 years. Of course, King won it last year. Now they're both playing in the same, league in the PSL Blue. So we typically always see these guys face twice, once early in the regular season, then the PSL championship game. They're always tight games. Got another one here tonight, 21-10. Detroit King with the lead. And now with the football, Jameel Croft Jr. got to the edge. Croft shaking, back inside. And down inside the 34-yard line, Jameel Croft Jr. What an explosive play in the return game.
See this, he catches up the seam. You want to get north and south here. He gets north, coming against the kicker, cut, beat him. One more guy to get him down. Jameel Croft's having a heck of a day.
Well, good job finally stopping, because he was headed right for the end zone. Jameel Croft Jr. Again, plays wide out, plays free safety. As Coach Spencer said, he makes it go for us on the outside at receiver, and they love watching him in the return game as well. He's had a pick 6 earlier this year that really turned some heads. You saw that one.
Oh, yeah. Cover 3, he came down weak side. Quarterback didn't even see him. He caught it and went 60 yards with it. It was beautiful.
Yeah, put the ball in his hands. Good things typically happen. So good starting field position for Martin Luther King. Moore out of the shotgun. Bad snap, going to keep it himself. Dante Moore. He's going to head out of bounds after picking up about 4 yards on first down. So we've seen 2 issues with the snap for King earlier today. First one resulted in a negative play. This one, heady play by Dante to get something out of it.
And this just makes a difference of a good quarterback and a great quarterback. You get a bad snap, play is about to be bad, but you make the best out of it. You get a first gain of 4 there. Good play there by Dante.
Inside 6 minutes to play in quarter number 2. Johnny Kane, Grant Perry with you up in the booth. Rob Rubick roaming the sideline alongside Natalie Kerwin. Fakes the handoff. Moore decided to keep it himself. Nowhere to go. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage before he was swallowed up by Kamari Anderson of the Technicians. That'll bring up 3rd and long. Haven't called Sterling Anderson's name yet on this drive. Not in the ball game at the present time. Got Tayshawn Henry Johnson, the sophomore, in at tailback.
Tight bunch look here, wide bunch look here, excuse me. Look for these receivers to intertwine, mess up these DBs' patterns here. There it is.
Had it just underthrew his target. Yeah, looking for Jamar Davis again, but this time underthrew him. That's 2 passes that Jamar Davis had to turn around for, but just a little bit too low to grab. And that's going to bring up 4th down, decision time. With the ball at the 31-yard line. See what they decide to do here. What would you do? 4th and 7, they're going to call it.
You got Dante at the helm. I'm going to assume he's going to drop back and throw a pass here. We got another trips look here to the field. We haven't seen Kayvon Matthews, get in the game yet. Let's see if he gets in the ball.
Looking for the outside. What a great grab. About 2 yards beyond the 1st down marker. Guess who? Jameel Croft Jr. We should have known.
Should have known. And hey, we got another timing route here, another curl route right at the sticks. Who else would you go to right now? The hot Jameel Croft. Once again, he's going up against Corey Sadler, taking advantage of the youth. So look for this matchup here to come.
What a great learning experience for Sadler. I mean, this is one of the better receivers in the state, Jameel Croft Jr. And again, that speaks to obviously what they think of this 14-year-old freshman on the outside in single coverage. This time they hand the football off. And that was Tayshawn Henry Johnson. Again, the sophomore running back. Picks up a couple of yards, maybe. This King offense, they have so many different weapons again.
Yeah, a lot of different weapons here. Getting everyone involved. A little inside zone run there. Man-on-man blocking up front. They do a good job there on Cass Tech's D-line, holding them to limit gain.
Coach Spencer says, I want to play fast. They're playing pretty fast right now.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Approaching 4 minutes to play. 2nd quarter. To the outside. Looking for a little running room. Not much there for Jamar Davis. And that's going to bring up 3rd down. Well, Cass Tech doing a nice job in space coming up and making that open field tackle. I know it was one thing that was preached to me a bunch in high school is that Kane, break down and make the open field tackle.
Got to break down, keep it in front of you, and they do a good job there. 3rd and long here.
So already converted on 4th down earlier in this drive. And again, as Rubes was talking about earlier, they're looking at their field goal range for their kicker. They'd have to get down to about the 15-yard line. They're about 6 yards away from that. They are 10 yards away from a 1st down. And a whistle.
They got a timeout.
Timeout before the delay of game.
No penalty on the flag. No penalty on the play. We got timeout, Crusaders.
Martin Luther King takes his 2nd timeout of the half. Let's check in downstairs with Rob Rubick. Rob.
Hey, Johnny, what I saw that time was they flipped their formation. They put Croft to the short side of the field that got him away from Sadler, number 1, who even though they got the 3rd down play or 4th down conversion, he was covered pretty well. So they flipped him. They put him on Sewell. I think Coach Spencer feels he has a better opportunity to isolate him to the short side of the field against Sewell than he does against the young freshman.
Interesting. Interesting stuff. Hey, let's take a look at this. Go back to 2007. What do you say? You want to take a look at how even is this rivalry? Be the winning percentage, playoff appearances, regional titles, state finals appearances. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable. These guys are playing for something every year, and you can see it. And they're meeting usually twice a year here too. So this is their first matchup. Get to know each other. Every year is new. So right now, King's got the edge right now. So let's see if Cass Tech can get a stop here and move the ball here at the late end of the 2nd quarter.
See what I say in rivalry games like this. We know what they do. We know them. But we want to get reacquainted on Friday night. And these teams have done that. Kings played a little bit cleaner game from a penalty standpoint. They also had the 11-point advantage as they face 3rd and long.
Wide 2-by-2 set here.
Moore with time, steps into the throw, looking into the end zone, over the outstretched fingertips of Kayvon Matthews. The 6'3" junior hit him right on the hands.
Yeah, and I've been looking for that matchup all day. You know, tall Kayvon Matthews standing at 6'3". Oh, good ball there by Dante Moore. He puts it where no one else can get it besides his receiver, and that's what you want there on those go balls.
Good coverage by Javen Sewell was right there, but again, when you got the height advantage, receivers got to bring that football down. So now 4th down. Can Cass Tech come up with the stop, get the football back? Joshua Rogers now in at running back. In for pass protection. Overthrows his intended target. Dante Moore is going to head to the sidelines. That is a turnover on downs. So maybe a little miscommunication because Moore looked like he was leading his receiver. Receiver might have broken off the route early.
As you can see, it's a one-high look. Got 5 guys rushing. They're just playing cover 1 right here. Receiver slipped a little bit. Ball out of bounds.
Hey, here's the deal. You're right, Grant. They're playing some cover 1. They're trying to simplify it. People don't understand, being a zone team is difficult. It's a lot more thinking, a lot more understanding of combination routes. You play man, you play cover 1, you got him, you got him, you got him. It simplifies the game. Now, it takes a lot of athleticism to play man, though.
Yeah, it looked like Jamar Davis just slipped on the route as he was trying to break off, go for the football. So turnover on downs, golden opportunity now for Mumpfield and this Cass Tech offense. Mumpfield keeps it himself, and he gets swallowed up after a gain of about 2 yards. So plenty of time here. How often did you guys work on 2-minute offense at Michigan?
Oh, it's an everyday ordeal. You know, you got to have it because most games do come down to the 2 minutes, whether it's first half or second, in the 4th quarter. So 2 minute is crucial. You win and lose games in the 2 minutes.
So they got a little extra time here. Does Cass Tech nearly 3 minutes to try to orchestrate something? We saw they've obviously got a little bit of distance from the kicker, George Sanchez, but I think they'd like to find the end zone if at all possible. This time hands the football off. Sean Hodges. Flag comes in. Hodges up to the 35-yard line. We'll wait and see. Sean Hodges been the bell cow for this team here in the first half. He's asked to do a lot.
I have a hold on the offense. It's going to be a 10-yard penalty. We're going to replay 2nd down.
As the 8th penalty assessed to Cass Tech.
Oh, yeah, you see a little bit of holding there by, I missed his number there, but Sean Hodges, he is carrying the weight today. That kick return, they got him in good field position earlier. They're going to count on him a lot.
Looks like they might have gotten Elijah Jordan in the slot receiver position, reached out, maybe got a little too much jersey. Mumpfield.
Sadler, one-on-one.
Looking for Sadler. And going up to high point the football was Tion Parks. It's 6 foot. Got a pretty good vertical, went up for it.
Yeah, here we go. He's running a go route. Inside releases, but when you inside release a go route, you got to stack the DB there. Doesn't do a very good job of it. DB recovers, makes a good play on the ball.
Grant, I like how you said you got to stack him. You got to get him on your back hip. You got to start, but you still got to work for width. But you could see that coming. They isolated Sadler. They had man-to-man outside, and their safety was too far inside to give help. And Mumpfield read it, and he just set and threw it because pressure was coming.
Same matchup. Bottom of your screen. Mumpfield has to dump it off. Dumps it off underneath. Looking for a little running room. Not much there. Kamari Anderson, big tight end. That's going to bring up 4th down, so not ideal. Had an opportunity to potentially run your 2-minute offense. Holding penalty kind of disrupted some things, and now you're looking at a 4th down from deep inside your own territory, and King with still a timeout left. They may look to call one themselves and try to get some more points as well to add to their lead.
Yeah, minute 33, you got a timeout, got a good QB at the helm. It's a lot of time here in high school football. A lot can happen. All it takes is one play.
So King does use its final timeout of the quarter. Hey, coming up at halftime, Mickey York and Lorne Plant, a dynamic duo. They'll be live from the studio. They'll have updates from all around the great state of Michigan. Natalie Kerwin will be catching up with Cass Tech senior quarterback LaShawn Mumfield. A great conversation this week about returning the program to prominence. That's all coming up at halftime here on Bally Sports. Hey, the Hometown Showdown is a chance for your high school to be crowned the best Football Fridays fan base. You can vote now in the weekly poll on the Bally Sports Detroit Twitter page. The winning school gets bragging rights and more. Poll closes on Monday. Bally Sports Detroit Football Fridays are presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. I'll tell you, the student sections here tonight get after it pretty good.
Absolutely. They're bringing the energy here. This is the showdown in the Motown. Would expect nothing less.
All right, Rubes, 4th down, deep inside its own territory. You're Cass Tech. You do what? Checking in, Rob Rubick.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, if I'm Mumfield, though, I'm going to directional punt this. So Seals and Crofts down there.
I was going to say.
Jameel Croft, he's been the Tomb Raider tonight. He is tough. I would directional kick, a kick out of bounds, get 25, 30 yards, and play defense.
There you go. Jameel Croft, the lone deep man from Martin Luther King. Mumfield, short punt this time. We'll see where this one checks up. And it takes a favorable King bounce. And it's going to come to rest at the 44-yard line. So on the plus side of the 50 is where King will take over. So really, this could be a big sequence in this game when you consider Cass Tech only down 11, had an opportunity, but they go 3 and out with the penalty. And now you've got King, no timeouts left, but still with a short field. Dante Moore is your quarterback. Got to be real careful, keep in front of you for Cass Tech.
Absolutely here. I'd keep everything in front of me. I'd make them make plays on offense. I'd make them try to miss me in the open field. Don't allow any deep shots here and try to run this clock down and get to half here.
This Cass defense be tested throughout. They've given up a bunch of points in the first couple games of the season. I mentioned that 56-54 overtime loss at Southfield A&T, and then Carmel High School out of Indiana, 35-21 setback there. But this defense pitched a shutout 1 week ago over league opponent Detroit Renaissance. Defense will need to make a stop here. As Dante Moore trips over the top of the screen. Jameel Croft here at the bottom of the screen. And that's where Moore's looking. Croft, back shoulder. Got him. Out of bounds inside the 30. You like that?
Absolutely. One-on-one coverage here on Jameel Croft again. You want to see if Cass Tech's going to switch things up. Or
it's like Javen Sewell's the man they put on it.
Javen Sewell, they're going to give him opportunity against Croft here. Plays in phase. You can't ask for much better defense, but when you got a QB like Dante Moore, he puts a back shoulder ball on Croft, and that's a ball that only Croft can catch. And really good job there. Big gain. Momentum is swinging in King's way right now.
Yeah, that's what we thought too. But guess what? Flag came in late, and they're going to call holding against King. So after all that, they're going to back him up 10 yards. Never happened. Great breakdown, though. So fortuitous for Cass Tech is now King is backed up. On the other side of the 50-yard line. Hand the football off. That's number 25, Joshua Rogers, the freshman, getting a chance to touch the ball. So we've seen Sterling Anderson, Tayshawn Henry Johnson, and now Joshua Rogers. Clock continues to run inside a minute. Jameel Croft again. Single coverage. Javen Sewell standing right at the 50 at the bottom of your screen.
What do you know it? Some more laundry.
More laundry on the field. Looks like they're just going to change the spot. No, they're going to mark it off. That one came against Cass Tech. That was offsides on the defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. Clock continues to tick, but there's 5 free yards for Dante Moore and company.
Another one-on-one down here with Croft at the bottom.
Moore back to pass. Here comes pressure. Moore steps into the throw. Overthrows his receiver. Moore, Laundry. Flag comes in.
I got a little bit of the jersey there. A little bit of defensive holding, defensive PI. Let's see what they say.
Let's see which receiver they were looking at. He was looking for Jamar Davis, and I believe they're going to get Derek Jackson grabbing onto the jersey. Not a lot there, was there?
Yeah, it didn't look like it. The ref must be seeing something we can't.
15-yard penalty. It's going to.
So that's the sophomore defensive back Derek Jackson, the third penalized there. Rob Rubick.
I can't believe you said there wasn't a lot there. He was being, literally just being undressed. He had him by the jersey, pulling it down, and he was trying to come out of his cut. It was a good penalty because if he does not grab him, that corner out for Davis is going to be open.
Keep in mind, you were a pass catcher, and I was a DB. Close his mic, guys. Yeah. That's enough.
Okay.
I thought, no, you're right. So, in business now, 27.7 remaining here in the second quarter. Moore, 4 receivers. Over the middle. Incomplete. Receiver had it, bobbled it, dropped it. That was Jamar Davis once more.
Move to his zone. He crosses his face. Can't ask for a better ball. Jamar Davis has just got to come down with that. That's a tough miss right there. Cover 4 zone looked like cover 4 zone. Middle of the field's open. You want to attack the middle, and that's what they did there.
And Jamar Davis hearing his name called a lot here in the first half. Dante Moore continuing to go look for him. Again, they're going to go 4 receivers on 2nd and 10. Freshman Joshua Rogers line up on the left side of Dante Moore. He's in there for pass protection. He's going to fire out to the far sideline. Catch made by Kayvon Matthews. Could not get out of bounds. It is enough for the first down. That's what they're discussing right now as they try to get the chain gang move. So it's almost like there we go. Now they're going to wind the clock. So they're going to say it was enough for the first down. So you see the chain crew trying to move quickly. Now Cass Tech says we're going to call timeout. So let's take a look at this play one more time. Marvin Rushing.
So last play was cover 4 as well. They go to cover 4 as well. Dante Moore realizes that cornerback's got a deep 4th. As you see, he's about 10 yards off the receiver there. Dante Moore knows that's just an easy throw and catch for a couple yards. You'd like to see him get out of bounds there. Situational awareness needs to be a little bit better there, but nonetheless, big gain, good catch, good throw.
Good tackle by Rashawn Thornton. Rob Rubick.
In our open, we talked about the freshmen in this game. We highlighted Corey Sadler and also Deshaun Wheeler. Well, Deshaun has not seen the field. Coach had second thoughts, I think, about starting a freshman against those 2 bookend defensive ends at Cass Tech. So what he's done is he played Messiah Blair, the Eastern Michigan commit, who plays defense as well. He's played tackle, and he's held up well as Antonio Johnson on the other side because Dante Moore yet has really been on his back. No sacks in this game that I can remember. So a really good job of coaching by Ty Spencer, filling in the blanks a little bit when he had some, and finding out that Messiah Blair is a pretty dang good 2-way player.
Been doing a fabulous job, hasn't he?
Outstanding.
Might get an opportunity to play some more.
You got to throw past the stick. Yeah, you got to throw past the sticks or into the end zone here now, or the clock will run out. Oh my Lord! Another penalty. There's a surprise.
There have been 10 penalties for 100 yards assessed to Cass Tech in this game. We'll wait and see what this one is. Again, this is the 4th game of the season for Cass, 3rd game of the year.
I have a penalty on the field. The timeout occurred before the flag. Timeout.
All right, so no flag. They're going to say timeout. So Cass Tech taking another timeout. As the official, I believe, just moved the football 5 yards. They're going to have to move that back.
11 seconds here. No timeouts. You got to take a shot in the end zone or have a route that gets you out of bounds here. Got to be smart.
You know, his primary targets for Dante Moore today has been Jamar Davis and, of course, Jameel Croft Jr., number 12 and number 7. So let's take a look at this. We're going to talk about some of the top-ranked seniors in the state of Michigan. There's Dante, who heads the list. Look at these guys. We're talking about 10 of the top 73 players on the football field tonight here in the state of Michigan. Look at all these Division I, Power 5 offers. Rashawn Randall, we haven't called a bunch yet here tonight, but he's headed to Northern Illinois. We'll see about LaShawn Mumpfield, where he's going to end up playing on Saturdays. But I'll tell you, Messiah Blair, again, we mostly talk about him as Rubes was just talking about what he does defensively, but holding his own. Not easy to play offensive tackle in Division I.
Not easy at all. Helps when you're 6'7", 235, though, I'll tell you that much.
11 seconds. Got to be careful. Got to be smart with the football.
We're showing 12 personnel here, too. 1 running back, 2 tight ends. That's the score they just had with Kenny Mayweather. So look for something maybe to Kenny Mayweather or Croft here in the slot.
Merriweather wears number 4, the big tight end. Moore. Pressure coming. Has to get rid of it. Throws into coverage. Another flag comes in. Moore was being bothered by Jalen Thompson off the end for Cass Tech. And we'll see.
We're going to take We got a hold on offense. It's going to be a 10-yard penalty. We will replay it down.
So holding penalty against King backs him up. They also lose some precious time here.
Yep, penalty occurred here. 54 White. See him just getting inside, holding that inside of the shoulder pad on Jalen Thompson. That's an easy call for the ref there. Very visible.
That is the definition of holding. So with 6 seconds, just under 6 seconds remaining, it's a shot to the end zone or nothing. Probably in time for one play here. And again, same formation as they just lined up in. Tayshawn Henry Johnson.
Yeah, they're splitting out Xavier Newsom here as well, the big tight end, sophomore tight end, number 18. Let's see if Dante goes to him or Croft in the slot here.
Here comes pressure. Moore, flush from the pocket. Throwing across his body into the end zone. Touchdown, King.
Xavier Newsom finding an open space. The sophomore tight end, number 18 there with a great catch. Even better vision there by Dante Moore, finding him as he's on the roll to the left, throws it back to the right.
And you just called it. Xavier Newsom, you just mentioned. Talented sophomore T, checks into the ball game. Here it is in isolation.
Yeah. Let's see, 14 Green's with him all the way. He gets tucked inside. He sees the rollout. 18 stays true to his route. Wide open. It's a 500 or live ball right there. Good catch there by 18, Xavier Newsom.
And that's one of those situations, I think, Grant, where you say, typically in most situations when a quarterback's rolling away from the play, no shot he's going to throw it across his body that far into the end zone, except for a select few. And one of them wears number 5 in white. That's Dante Moore. Tremendous arm strength by Moore. Tremendous ability once flushed from the pocket. And to find the end zone. And that is it. I mean, it takes you to the end of the second quarter. That is about as good as it gets. If you're King, you're an extra point away from going up 28-10 on the road. This is not a tough place to play. Not an easy place to play, I should say. It is a tough place to play. And these are two pretty evenly matched teams, we thought, coming into this game.
Just being able to silence the home crowd, that does a lot for you as a away visiting team. King's doing a great job of that as they keep putting points on the board, putting more stress on Cass Tech.
Terrence Moore on for the point after. He splits the uprights. What a first half. 18-point lead. We're going to be hearing from Martin Luther King head coach Ty Spencer, who's going to be kind enough to join our Rob Rubick for a couple of questions here at the half. But I think if you're Cass Tech, you're going to have a lot of things to discuss. How do you adjust? It's easy to say make adjustments. How do you adjust when you're going up against the likes of Dante Moore and guys like Xavier Newsome, and the list goes on?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to stay with your man here. This is just a blown coverage. Number 14 gets lost in translation. 18 stays outside. Dante Moore finds him. And like Johnny said, not a lot of QBs can roll left and see their guy wide open to the right. And, you know, as a coach, you don't love those throws, but when you got Dante Moore, makes things a little bit easier. He's got a little bit more leeway to make those decisions, and it's a successful play.
All right, let's send it downstairs. Rob Rubick standing by with Coach Spencer. Rubes?
Yeah, Coach Spence, you look at the first half so far. What do you like about what you've seen with your offense?
Man, I like some of the plays that we were able to make. I'm not that happy with the special teams because that's getting them in the game. So we got to do better. But, you know, hopefully Sterling can bounce back. I know he took a little hit to the thigh, so I liked how he was playing. We got to just protect a little bit better with DJ. Those guys are coming off the edge, and I was really concerned with that.
Well, I really think I like your scheme. You put Messiah Blair in. You're going to go with the freshman. You decided at the last minute. Messiah looks like he's held up pretty well.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job. 54 tone. He's really our guard. He's out at tackle. They're busting their butt. They're giving great effort. We just got to continue to do it. We got another half to go.
How about defensively? What have you seen, and what do you really want to see better in the second half?
I like what they came up to the challenge. We got to stop them with a field goal. They did get one touchdown right here, but I love the way they're playing. They're flying around. I like what they're doing.
All right, Coach Spencer, thank you. We appreciate it. Have a great second half. Johnny, as most coaches are, it doesn't matter what the score is. They're not always happy. There's always something they want to do better.
Here, here. All right, Bruce, make your way back up to the booth. Grant Perry, good job here in the second quarter. Look forward to hearing your game next week.
Hey, appreciate it. Had a blast with you, Johnny.
All right, very good. 28-10, Martin Luther King leading. We are at the half, which means Mickey York and Lauren Plant are standing by in studio after this.
Football Fridays on Bally Sports is brought to you by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, Think Ford First, and by Lead Prep Academy, a postgraduate high school program for football and basketball student athletes. It is halftime in Detroit between Cass and King. 28-10 your score at the half. Dante Moore hooking up with Damani Richards as time expires in the first half to give King the 18-point advantage. We welcome you inside our high school football headquarters. Mickey York of Bally Sports, Lauren Plant from State Champs. If we can get through this halftime without a flag being thrown on our desk, we'll consider it a success. Once this game wraps up tonight, Lauren and I will bring you the best highlights from around the state of Michigan. And we got a great slate.
Yeah, expect to stay up late tonight with us for sure. But Football Fridays, real overtime, is going to be powered by State Champs. Of course, get started immediately following Cass and King, but that won't stop us from giving you a preview right now. All right, let's go to the battle of the unbeatens on the west side tonight. South Lyon East at number 12, Walled Lake Western. Bragging rights on the line in the LVC. What can we say? So far, this night belongs to Western's Darius Taylor, the Mr. Football candidate. 240 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns midway through the third. This was a 35-yard run. That was his fourth of the night. Walled Lake Western so far running away with it, 51-23 in the fourth.
All right, on paper, this looked maybe the best game out in the state tonight outside of Cass and King. Clarkson on the road at West Bloomfield tonight, and the Lakers would go to the air early. Rick Nance with all kinds of time, 43 yards to Samaj Morgan. Double covered, don't care. Nice catch, better throw by Nance. That tied it at 7. West Bloomfield holding on to a 35-27 advantage as they play late in the fourth quarter in West Bloomfield.
Our cameras all over the state tonight. We'll have some of the best matchups here in the metro area for sure. Number 1 De La Salle looking to stay unbeaten against Brother Rice. How about this? Warriors battling 35-28 in the fourth. Who'd have called it against number 1 De La Salle? We'll see how that one turns out. River Rouge on the road at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. This one a blowout, 28-0. That's a final. Number 10, River Rouge, only their second game of the season, gets the win. We showed you West Bloomfield and Clarkson. And over in the LVC, Walled Lake Western leading South Lyon East. Battle of unbeatens, 51-23 right now in the fourth.
All right, those are just a few of the big games around Metro Detroit tonight, but we are all over the state of Michigan tonight. We'll have highlights from the Ubly Harbor Beach game. 2 unbeatens going in, only 1 unbeaten going out. Ubly wins that 42-0. No love lost between Montague and Whitehall. Whitehall puts it on Montague 60-6. Plus, we follow Grand Blank's road trip up to Traverse City West. Grand Blanca made it worth all the mileage, 41-0 the final there. And we'll take you to the UP where Negaunee blew out Manistee 54-0.
All right, before we get to all that, much more to come at halftime. It's really hard to believe Leishawn Mumfield is a senior. He is uncommitted. Ferris State and others have offered. He's guided the technicians to the regionals as a sophomore in 2020. You're going to get to know the slick southpaw and his technicians when halftime continues.
(28-10), Martin Luther King leads Cass Tech at the half at Tech. A 2-yard touchdown sneak by Leishawn Mumfield, the only touchdown for Tech so far in the first half. Yeah, Mumfield earned Cass Tech's starting quarterback job as a sophomore 2 years ago. In that season, he took down rival Martin Luther King twice. The script flipped in 2021 with King taking down Mumfield's technicians on 2 different occasions. And Cass then went on to suffer an uncharacteristic early playoff defeat. It's why the now senior quarterback is ready for a spectacular final act and one of the state's premier programs. Natalie Kerwin has the story.
This kid's impressive to watch. He just does not miss.
Mumfield this time drops back to pass, looking on the outside. Got his man! Touchdown! Cass Tech!
Well, Sean, 3rd year as a starter. I guess it's already here, your senior year.
Right, I can't believe that. I feel like it was just my freshman year playing, you know. So it's a really big deal for me right now, and I can't believe it. It's my last year of high school, so.
Do you feel like losing a lot of seniors, you've kind of had to step in that role and embrace a more leadership role this season?
Yes, of course, especially me being, you know, one of the more experienced guys. You always have to step up, always have to bring in the young guys and tell them, you know, what to do, what not to do, because, you know, everything runs on you. So, you know, just if things don't go right, you have the chance to fix that. You have the opportunity to you know, tell the offense to calm down. You know, we can control this game and we can win this game.
There's been a few off years, you know, in the past couple of seasons. You guys through the 2010s were really, you know, getting to the state championship and bringing home titles. And I guess, how can you get there?
Just really come together as a team. You know, the past years, you know, the teams who've won the championships, they were together and they were a player-led team. They were player-led. I know the coaches didn't have to really say anything. It was always the seniors getting on the freshmen getting on the sophomores, or anything like that, just to, you know, police each other. And that's what we have to do here to become another, you know, championship caliber team.
When you think of the rivalry with King, you know, what comes to mind?
My freshman year, they're actually up on us by 1. So I think it's my turn. If we win both, you know, this game, and, you know, we will compete in the cities. If we win the cities game, then I will be ahead of them for my high school career. So I have to go out there and show my talents. Even though, you know, I don't want to be a hero. I don't want to be the one that, you know, to steal the show. I want to put others to, you know, put them in positions to where they can get the opportunity to play football at another level.
What do you think the sport of football means to the city of Detroit?
Football is just a stay of togetherness. You know, we bring 2 people together. We can bring the whole city here in the middle of Detroit, in the middle of downtown, just to watch a game and, you know, just to entertain them. And, you know, a lot of people will give us accolades of what we do, what we do in our future and what we did in the past, you know, for Detroit. Because I feel like football is a very big, you know, key component of how great Detroit is.
First attempt from the 20, the lefty looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Cass Tech.
Yeah, Mumfield might not want to be the hero for his team, but they're going to need him to be. He has scored once, but his team down 18 at the half. The third quarter of play coming up from Cass Tech when we continue.
You're going to want to join us next week when Football Fridays covers the next chapter in one of the best rivalries in Michigan, Bloomfield Hills, Brother Rice, Detroit Catholic Central. Johnny Kane, former Detroit CC's Justin Sassante, former Brother Rice superstar Grant Perry will have the call from Blue Devil Stadium at Lawrence Tech. Friday, September 23rd at 7:30 p.m., Shamrocks looking to extend their program record 7-game win streak against the Warriors. Time will tell. And right now, boy, it is a dogfight between De La Salle and Brother Rice. 35-35 late in the fourth. Could have OT. Who'da thunk it? Well, in addition to that game, we are going to be excited to announce the rest of our regular season slate for the Fridays. Football Fridays game of the week. Ranked teams aplenty, but where they'll sit as some of the state's elite, that is unknown, but great matchups. Davison coming down from the Flint area to battle Walled Lake Western. Huge Mac Rudd matchup between Chippewa Valley and Romeo. High-flying offenses will be on display when Southfield A&T and West Bloomfield clash on October 14th. That could be for the OAA Red Crown. And then a regular season finale as the 2019 D1 state finalist Brighton Bulldogs, their opponent to be determined, as a KLAA crossover will be the game. And that will be a noon kickoff on Saturday, October 22nd. But before any of that, we need to reach a conclusion in Detroit tonight. 28-10 our halftime score as we continue on a fired up Friday night.
Football Fridays on Bally Sports is brought to you by Figer Law. Nobody knows the law like we do. Figer Law. And by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first. Halftime adjustments have been made. The technicians and Crusaders getting ready to get back to work. Same for Johnny Kane, Rob Rubick, Grant Perry, and Natalie Kerwin. Enjoy the rest of the game, everybody. We'll see you back here as soon as it's over for overtime.
Hey, welcome everybody back to Cass Tech Athletic Field. We're going to send it downstairs. Natalie Kerwin caught up a few moments ago with Cass Tech head coach Marvin Rushing.
Coach Rushing, Dante Moore and that King offense has been able to make plays all over the field. How do you slow them down this half?
Right now, we got to establish the run right now to keep them off the field, quite honestly. We missed some shots on offense. We missed a few things, allowed them to get back on the field offensively. And honestly, we just got to get off the field on third down. We just got to get off the field on third down.
How difficult has it been for you to get into a rhythm with all those penalties?
It's been difficult right now, but I think it's more us right now, delaying ourselves. I think we're playing a little tight, trying to get the young men to relax and be Cass Tech and go ahead and find a way to get this done in the second half.
All right, thanks, Coach. Johnny?
All right, Natalie, appreciate that. You look at these first half stats, he's going to be one that jumps off the page,
well,
Rubes.
There's three. Don't worry about this thing here. I'm kind of burying that. It's total yards 37. That's an offense that has been inept. Turnovers 1. You're losing that battle, but 10 penalties for 100 yards. When you're playing a team like King that's equal, if you're equal, maybe even a little bit better, you have to be pretty close to perfect. 10 penalties and a half is far from perfect. Turning the ball over. They just got to come out, and I think Marvin Rushing, the head coach of Cass, is correct. They need to establish the run to keep King off the field, because you let number 5 in white, Dante Moore, you give him enough opportunities to step back in that pocket and throw the ball down the field, eventually something bad is going to happen. And we saw that at the end of the first half if you're a Cass Tech fan.
Well, in talking with Coach Rushing, he said, we'll show a little motion. We want to challenge their eyes. And the Warren Central game that King played, he said they moved the ball both vertically and horizontally, challenged their eye discipline. I thought we'd see more of that from Cass, and we might see more of that in the second half.
Yeah, we saw more of that from, I believe, from King. When you see guys running open in the secondary, and 3 or 4 different times they had guys going down the hashes that were no one was on him. One time on the corner, even on that last play, there was a breakdown on the backside when Dante Moore was able to
find a receiver wide open in a corner. That means that they're getting lost in their zone coverages and they're having problems. And we saw what the answer to that is, Johnny. Cass Tech went to man. Because they were having problems in their zone concepts, they were letting people free. Their eyes were taking the short route and letting people run by them, and that's why King was able to get some big plays. So let's see in the second half if they either corrected that at halftime, worked with the safeties, or they're just going to say, heck, we'll play one. We'll play man free with the safety free and play man across the board.
It'll be King who will get the football first here to start the third quarter as Coach Ty Spencer looks on. His football program trying to improve to 2-1 on the young season. A little bit of a delay to start quarter number 3. I believe we're waiting on the officiating crew to get in position. Everybody is in position. So here's King's schedule. Again, moving forward, you got some winnable games in front of them when you look at with respect to their league opposition.
The question I have, the big Q, Johnny, is how good's Warren Central? This is a pretty good football team. You look at King right now, and they got 44 hung on them. This is a pretty physical front. They're tough to run on. His back end is held up well against Cass Tech.
Look at Moeller, right? That's a power out of Ohio. I love the fact that you say, how good are we? We don't need to be unblemished. Yeah, let's go find out. Moeller is a powerhouse in the state of Ohio. Warren Central is a powerhouse in Indiana. You got Cass Tech here, your crosstown rival. Power.
They need to, because the PSL as a whole is not what it once was.
Right.
So you take King and Cass out of it, a lot of those teams aren't going to challenge them and give them the work they need in order to improve, to peak at the end of the year.
Like when they faced DeWitt in the championship game a year ago, Jameel Croft lowers his shoulder and takes a shot on the return. So King is going to start just shy of the 25-yard line. Good job on special teams by Cass Tech to prevent that young man from making another explosive play.
Had a chance when I was walking the field. I circled it a few times, stalking the game, and I got a chance to walk by Jameel Croft. That is a football-looking body. That is an athletic, long. He has long arms. He's going to be a really tough. I think he'll ultimately be a safety, Johnny. Right now he plays some corner as well, but I think ultimately he's going to be a safety. He's going to fill out a little bit more. But he also on the offensive side, he's proven he's their top receiver. So just a really all-around good athlete, uncommitted. So I'm sure there's a lot of coaches knocking on his door and texting him and whatever else they do nowadays.
Yeah, the only regular two-way starter for Detroit King. They hand the football off up the middle, couple of yards, not much more. And again, that time it was the freshman Joshua Rogers in the backfield. So hadn't heard any injury update or anything. And Sterling Anderson, their senior running back, but had not been involved since, I believe, late in the first quarter, maybe early second quarter. They've gone with a couple different running backs instead, that being Joshua Rogers and Tayshawn Henry Johnson. That Dante Moore, you had a chance to get down there and take a good look at Moore and his release point. Again, you hadn't seen him play, I don't believe, in person before.
No,
now you understand why.
I saw him on tape, and he looked good. But in person, he looks, and I know we throw this word around a little bit too much, but I think he looks great. I've watched a lot of high school football over the past 30 years working for Bally and covering the finals and the playoffs and so forth. He's as good as I've seen ever.
Ever. Love that praise. And there's the ball carrier that time. Number 2, Denaro Harris, getting an opportunity to carry the football. And again, a little bit of talking going on after the play.
Understatement. That's like saying I'm kind of bald. There's a lot of talking. When you're down the sidelines, I don't say it's humorous, but it's just amazing.
Here it is. So plays dead. He said, okay, play's over, boys. Play's over. Play's over.
It's kind of like I have a buddy up in the UP that when you text him, he always has to give you the last text. In this game, it's who can push the other one, who can get that last little shove in before we go back to the huddle.
Before they throw the laundry. That was Chase Parker in on the stop. So 3rd and 7, if they can get a stop here, it'd likely be a punting situation. Try to get the football back. And quick release. There it is, Dante Moore. We've seen that play a couple of times. 3 Cass Tech technicians in there on the stop. But that's going to be a first down and a little bit more extracurricular. So we've seen that a couple of times tonight. Dante Moore back to finding Jamar Davis on that quick slant.
And here's the problem with that quick slant. If you don't walk your linebackers out over that, that's just giving it, because they are playing cover 2. It means the corners are up on the wide receivers outside, and the safeties are back about 10, 12 yards. There's no one on the slot. So the way you stop that is you sneak your linebackers, outside backers, out a little bit into that slot area to take that slant away. They didn't do that. It was just easy for Dante Moore to find Davis.
And the football off to the freshman, Joshua Rogers. Rogers ahead for a couple of yards. 5'8", 155 pounds. Runs a little bit harder than that.
Yeah, not a lot there. Really good job looking helmet on helmet, taking gap control by that defensive line. And Rogers comes in the game because Anderson got nicked, and really not a lot there for him either. So that front of Cass, when you look at Thompson and Christian and Howell and Anderson, they've done a good job. The rushing yards have been very, very tough to come by for King. It's through the air with Dante Moore's arm that they've been hurt.
Moore, blitz came. Moore looking to get out of it. Cannot do it. The Cass Tech defense brought pressure and able to get to him this time.
When you see that Dante Moore like that, that's when Coach Ty Spencer's over there saying, just go down, 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 just get down. You know, you're in harm's way. There's green shirts buzzing all around. You're going to see from the end zone view here. The first job, Caleb Richmond getting pressure inside. Number 9 in green, and 55 in green is there. And it's a block party at Dante Moore's house. And all the green shirts arrived at the same time.
I think they've done what they've wanted to do, and that is bring pressure, get him on the ground. You can see he doesn't have a clean jersey tonight, but he has been effective. Pressure hasn't seemed to bother him very much because he's able to use his feet.
Yeah, and he's very aware. He has not all quarterbacks sense pressure the same. Some quarterbacks have an innate ability to feel it coming from the edges. He does. He has the timing of stepping up. And this is what scouts look at. They don't just look at his arm. Look at the complete package. How is he in a pocket under pressure? Does he step out? Does he slide sideways? Can he throw from different arm slots? Nowadays, it's a different game for a quarterback. And as I said early in the open, he's a 5-tool guy. He checks all the boxes.
Third and long, another bad snap. Moore goes down to the canvas. And there to finish off the play one more time. Number 9, Caleb Richmond. So backpedaling, then lost his balance, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
But there's going to be a penalty, but the deal is, they're still going to, here's the deal in high school. I believe it's going to be unsportsmanlike.
On number 10, 15-yard penalty.
But it's not a first down. It should still be 4th down.
On the first down.
Did he say it is a first down?
I don't think that was on 4th and 12.
But they sacked him. It's from the sack.
Let's take a look at it one more time. So again, bad snap.
See, they're saying 4th down. That's what I thought. Yeah, it's not automatic like it is at the NFL or in college. You get on sportsmanlike or personal foul, it's automatic first down. High school, it's just 15 yards.
Well, you can see, take a look at Dante Moore's holding up 1. He's saying we got first down, and now they're going to talk it over. You're right, but the players hadn't heard it yet.
Well, I don't hear that often.
Honey?
Yo.
What'd you say? So they're going to bring it in.
You're going to look here as the play ends. 10 in green, that would be Chase Parker, the linebacker.
Oh, it was the slap. Open-handed slap is what got him. He got Tayshawn Henry Johnson, so that was where the 15-yarder came in. And so now, yeah, the penalty should have been assessed from the spot of where Dante Moore had gone down.
I think so. It was a dead ball.
So it is 4th down. They've got it situated. Here we go. Official announcement.
So the penalty was as a spot, which will result in a 4th down. It will not be a first down.
All right, so now Cass Tech scrambling to get the right personnel in because King, likely, even though it's 4th and somewhat manageable for them, still pretty long ways. You're looking at about 4th and 8, so they are going to line up to punt the football.
And who's your punter?
Right.
Yeah. Same thing as Cass has with Mumfield, the punter.
you have your quarterback, so you better be honest.
There he is, Dante Moore, booms it. Nice punt. Nice punt. But it takes a Cass Tech bounce. Wow, what a job. And now Cass decides to pick up the football about the 35-yard line. So a decent punt, but that thing checked out. Put the old backspin on it. Came back the other way about 12 yards. So Cass Tech going to be pretty good starting field position. We'll see where they mark it. I think it's around the 35-yard line.
Pretty alert play, though, real quick, because when the coverage team touches the ball but they don't possess it, let's see here. If King touches it, the Cass player can now pick it up unfettered. Other words, is it touched? Yeah, it looks like he touched it. No, he can pick it up. Even if he fumbles, Cass gets the ball back. It's an interesting rule. So that's a heads-up play by the Cass Tech return guy. Who was that? I think that was Cassius Shivers. Number 4 in green.
Young sophomore. So here we go. Cass Tech with 37 yards of offense in the opening half. And more than 3 times that in penalties. Penalty yardage. So now another penalty comes in, and this will be assessed against King. What'd you see, Rubes?
Well, I didn't see what the penalty was on King. I'm just kind of thinking ahead here. What we need to do is there a second sideline warning possibility? Yeah, that's what he did.
First was the warning.
Yeah, first was the warning, and the second one's a penalty. But I got to find a way to get number 1, Corey Sadler, the ball. We talked a lot about in our open, and I was on the field. He is pretty special. He had the one long return. Besides that, offensively, he really hasn't been a factor. And if he's one of your go-to guys along with Hodges, you got to find a way to get him the ball.
Mumpfield high snap, going to keep it himself. Excuse me. That is Corey Sadler in at quarterback. C.J. Sadler.
I'd like to say I saw that, but I didn't. I'm looking at the top. I'm looking at the wide receiver spot, but they do spot play him at quarterback because of his mobility. But he can throw the ball. We were down on the field, Johnny, in pregame, and he was warming up, and he can spin it.
So they're almost like the Wildcat. He doesn't just run it out of the Wildcat. Like you said, he can spin it a little bit. So they're going to try to get a little spark provided to this offense. They're going to keep the talented freshman.
Look how tight the safeties are. Look how tight the safeties are. You might take a shot, try to get up over the top. They're thinking he's just going to run it here.
Sadler, this time play action. Being flushed from the pocket. Not much room to move. Spins around.
Boy, he is gifted, though.
You can see a glimpse of it.
And they tried.
Back to the line of scrimmage.
You know, Johnny, they were taking a shot. They were going to throw. The safeties are walked up tight. They're all thinking run. And this is going to be a pass. But as he sets up, there's nothing there. And especially young quarterbacks, their instincts tell them, what do I do well? I run with the football. Doesn't really give it a lot of time here. Maybe stand tall, let it go. Feels the pressure coming from the backside. And he takes tucks and goes, yeah.
Tim Ruffin coming in, the best tackler for King. One of their best tackles came up from a safety spot and was able to make the open field hit on an elusive young man. Yep. 3rd and long. And a flag comes in. Could be a
We got a delayed game on the offense. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. We're going to replay 3rd down.
So now you're looking at what was about 3rd and 7. Yeah. It's going to be more like 3rd and 12.
You wonder if Mumfield's. You wonder if they bring him back in the game. But they're going to stay with the young freshman at quarterback.
Stay with the freshman. They're going to bring in number 0, Elijah Jordan, in the slot. There's Mumfield now. They're going to line up Mumfield out alongside Elijah Jordan.
Well, this tackle's uncovered. There you go. Good job walking up on the bottom right down here.
It looks like King is coming after him.
Be careful if he's able to get outside to contain. Now they stem. They drop off.
There he is. Sadler stepping up. Spins around again. Tough to bring down. Sadler's still on his feet. Picks up about 5 yards on the play, but he makes him look fun, doesn't he?
He's a human highlight. What do you call that? I'm not a video game guy.
Cheat code.
What button do you have, or stick or something?
Cheat code.
Yeah, cheat.
Man, he can spin. He is unbelievable. He's going to be what a joy to watch over the next 3 years of high school. We get a chance to watch him. Hopefully he stays in the state of Michigan.
So that's 4th down now. Again, nice job coming up and making the stop. That was Willie Fletcher. They moved from outside the linebacker a little bit. And now, they're going to send off one of the King players. They're going to send off Tion Parks. And let's see, on 4th down, Mumfield's back in. Looks like Mumfield to punt. They are on the plus side of the 50. Ball's at the 47-yard line, but it is 4th and about 8.
And Ty Spencer will have his defense play, and we used to call it punt safe. Other words, you're playing this play, except for the guy that's deep to catch the ball, you're playing it, telling your guys they're going for it. This is going to be a fake. This is going to be a fake until it's not a fake. Then you turn into a punt return.
Officially 4th and 9. Mumfield high snap, steps into it, boots it away. And that ball is going to come to rest at the 21-yard line. That's where Dante Moore and this King offense will take over one more time. Some more talking. There's Jameel Croft with a few of his favorite friends who happen to be technicians. 28-10, Crusaders lead it. We're inside 4 minutes to play here in the 3rd.
Yeah, welcome back into Cass Tech. If you wear the number 1 in Cass Tech's football program, you simply have to be that guy. Well, for freshman CJ Sadler, he gets to down that number, who you've seen make some great plays tonight. Coach Marvin Rushing told me his competitiveness is absolutely off the charts. This summer, when they first put on pads, he couldn't pull them off anyone. I mean, he was going up against defensive end Jalen Thompson, who's committed to Michigan State. That's obviously a mismatch of size. But Coach told me, too, when the ball is in his hands, he makes plays. Defense, offense, special teams. He thinks he's going to be able to play whatever he wants in college. And Coach put it simply, he's just a different dude.
That he did.
He's going to play whatever he wants and wherever he wants.
That's just it. Just a different dude. I'll tell you what, you don't see players like this come along all that often. And again, it's a great story there about the significance of number 1 at Cass, and then, you know, for the older players to allow him to wear that number, understanding how important this guy is going to be for this program moving forward. The future is bright at Cass Tech. Question is, can the future be now with some of the athletes that they currently have? And how about one of them right there? That's big number 55, Jalen Thompson, coming in to blow up the play. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, if you're going to win, you better win at the point of attack, and King does not here. Number 55, you see him unblocked. They're going to just take the tackle to that side, Antonio Johnson, and arc release it, leave him unblocked. And Coach Spencer talked about sometimes leaving 55 unblocked just to kind of confuse him. Well, you know what? He passed that test. Didn't look too confused to me.
Jalen Thompson a week ago got to the quarterback, a bunch coming off the edge. This game means a lot to him. He's looking forward to having a big game. And we're seeing it here.
Very impressive looking young man physically.
Really.
Wow.
Really
He's down on the field, 6'5". They list him at 280. It seems like that may be a little bit heavy for him, but he's all of 260 and very lean muscle mass, and he can move. He is going to be.
That's why Mel Tucker wanted him so bad.
Coach Tucker and the Sparty Nation, go green, go white. Doesn't have to change colors.
That helps when it comes to wardrobe. Handoff, a little bit of room to run. Joshua Rogers.
You know what's I noticed in this game is they finish tackles. These two teams, that is their favorite thing to do, is they just finish tackles. And you're going to get a look here coming up. I think this is Sincere Jones, number 44, the linebacker. And they just, man, that whole driving him into the ground, they take pride in that. Look, he got a little grass on the helmet. I like that.
Look at that mouth guard. Yeah, he's got the grass. Look at that mouth guard.
That's great. That's good stuff right there.
Sincere Jones, love it. Football player. Look at him.
Well, I was noticing when I was on the field, and I don't know if I said it or not. I can't remember what I said in the first half, but the dust rising on the tackles, it's great. This is not a turf field. This is barely a grass field in some spots. But it is a football field. It is the gridiron, and these guys take pride in it. And it is they're going to go home with some dirty clothes.
That's it. It's a Cass Tech gridiron. Jameel Croft on the receiving end once more. Beat C.J. Sadler. And it was Dante Moore who threw it on a rope one more time, hooking up with his favorite target.
Well, we've
senior.
We've talked a lot about Sadler. You're going to get a look here. This is a clinic. Look at the watch here, right there. Look at how he high points the ball. We saw that early on. Coverage is not bad, but they're just genetics sometimes wins out. And you look at, Croft is just 6'1" against the 5'10" corner. 6'1" wins, and he extends his body, and also. Let's get back to number 5. That's a pretty good throw. Just a go route. We saw him get that in the first half. Now we saw him get it again in the second half.
Moore hands it off. Not much room. Thing is about football, especially when you play varsity football, for anybody that's done it, when you're talking about a true freshman, 14 years old, you're going up against, this is big boy ball. So you're going up against one of the best players in the state, in Jameel Croft. And again, like you said, not bad coverage. That's just giving credit to a senior making a senior play, going up high point the football. That's not saying that the talent gap is that far off, but you're saying, hey man, you want to learn, you want to play at this level? Bam, what a great on-the-job learning experience here tonight against Croft.
But we look at the third quarter, went pretty quick here. Is that already winding down compared to the first 2 quarters? But on that last play, Croft also ripped off, there's a look at Sadler, his helmet. He did not have to go out of the game. We're going to look right up here. And they keep fighting. He grabs his helmet. So when a offender takes your helmet off, you don't have to sit out a play.
Dante Moore on play action. Oh, what a hit. Javen Sewell came up and made the stop against Joshua Rogers. Dante Moore tried to hit him on a screen.
And what a job beating the block of Kayvon Matthews, the big receiver. He beats him to the outside and does a great job of sinking his hips and getting back inside because Rogers is cutting off. You can get a look here as we head to break, Johnny. I'm going to take this right to break. Outside, it's a quick pass. Rogers has it to the left of your screen. Look at Sewell sink underneath, beats a block of Matthews, and if Cass Teston have any hope of coming back in this 28-10 game, they're going to have to do a lot more of that here in the fourth quarter, Johnny. But ultimately, it was a fast third quarter, and nothing's changed since we were at halftime.
As we get ready to start the fourth quarter, let's take time for our Menards Big Money Moments. Rob, you want more? You get more.
Oh, we got a lot of more, too much more for Cass tonight. Dante Moore, we talked about a lot of the assets he has. He can throw the deep ball, but accuracy is the number one thing as a quarterback at any level. If you want to be good to great, you have to be extremely accurate. He is. He puts the ball where his guys can make a play on it. He spreads it around. You get to see that time. That was Merriweather. He looks for his number 1 guy, Jameel Croft, and then he comes back right before the half and goes to the corner of the end zone in a broken coverage and finds Xavier Newsome. So a really good job of feeling in the pocket, moving in the pocket, delivering the ball, and being accurate.
Dante Moore headed to the University of Oregon to play football on Saturdays moving forward.
I'll be shocked if they don't redshirt him 1 year and he isn't playing by the time he's a redshirt freshman. He is college ready, looking at him physically.
On third down, Moore hands the football off. Nice job by the Cass defense, moving the pile. And he's going to be well short of the first down. Ball carrier was Tayshawn Henry Johnson. See the Cass defenders in on it. Yep. Chase Parker, tough linebacker, got in there.
Kenny Merriweather, injured Crusader from Martin Luther King, down on the field. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Another one of those 10 guys we talked about rated high in the state, Kenny Merriweather. I think, is he going to go to Northern Illinois? Where's he? I'm trying to think where he's headed.
Merriweather is headed to Northern Illinois.
So I get to watch him for 4 more years. Great. I do radio with for Eastern Michigan University in the MAC, and I'm going to get to watch Messiah Blair, another King player, as he comes to Ypsilanti. But Kenny Merriweather's one that got away, heading to be a Husky in DeKalb. There's a good look at Ty Spencer. What a job he's done getting his team to kind of, I want to say rebound, but that's a tough loss they had down in Indiana, and keep them focused. And there, that sideline, he is in command, Johnny. I had a chance to walk along it quite a bit, and he does call the shots. He calls the show. And I liked right before the half, after they hit that big touchdown, he had all his kids, you take a knee, you take a knee, you get down. He didn't want anyone on the field when the Cass players were leaving, so he had them all take a knee on the sidelines, and that's control.
Hey, I misspoke there.
Oh.
Meriwether's going to Iowa, for crying out loud.
Well, DeKalb's not far. I mean, it's like it's just a
I just wanted to make sure
couple
I
more
got my-
cornfields and you hit Iowa. It's
I was
like,
just thumbing through. We got our list of college
Who's our
commitments
Northern
out there.
Illinois?
Northern Rashawn Randall.
okay. Oop,
There's
let's see.
Meriwether.
I'm trying to see. I think he's right here. Let's take a look.
He's just right up here. Looks like
To the left more. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, up to the upper left. I drew the wrong one. Pardon me. That's a non-contact type of injury.
it looks like just locks that little cramping
I
situation.
hope it's just a
right
cramp.
there.
And Dr. Kane has diagnosed it, so let's hope you're right.
Well, the Hawkeyes hope
Yeah.
I'm right as well. 4th down situation. Dante Moore back to punt. Hold the phone. We got another penalty on the field.
It's funny. You see the white. Is it Blevins? Did you say?
Blevins. Rob Blevins.
He's like, come on, fellas. He's clapping his hands like, come on, can we just do one here? He's like, I'm not hourly. I'm the state of Michigan. I get paid a certain amount by the AD of Cass Tech High School. Okay.
Paid by the flag.
Yeah.
You're doing all right
Now, if it's
tonight.
commission, oh, yeah.
No, it hasn't been, a cleanly played game. I think we can honestly say that. There have been a lot of penalties here. And again, figured out in the early portion of the game that you would get some of that, but now you get late in the game. See if they tune it up a little bit better over these final 11 and a half minutes.
Well, they got Terrence Moore instead of Dante Moore.
So Moore just came off. And they get the punt away. Look at it. Might have been partially blocked. I'm not sure. It looked like Sean Hodges got in there and put pressure on him off the edge. But either way, Dante Moore was just in for the punt. Then they decided to bring in number 19, Terrence Moore.
Yeah.
He's typically the kicker, not the punter.
That wasn't blocked, but the presence was felt. He's going to the punter is going to catch it. He starts going to his right. It's a high snap. He rights himself, he gets it off, but he feels the pressure of Hodges coming in and shanks it off to the right.
Yeah, you're right. We're going to take a short time out. You're watching Football Fridays on Bally Sports. Martin Luther King in front by 18 here in the 4th.
Hey, we had an incredible game in the Catholic League tonight between Brother Rice and top-ranked De La Salle. Rice is cashed in. Papadelis lunging for the end zone. He's in. Rice will convert a 2-point conversion to take a 43-42 lead. That is how it ended. Rice with the huge upset over the number 1 team in the state, Pilots. Grant Perry's going to love that one.
How about that? We are back to play. Out of the timeout. Cass Tech with the football. Mumpfield back in. Slings it over to Hodges. Hodges swallowed up at the 50-yard line, but a good positive play. Picks up about 6 yards on 1st down. What'd you hear about that game break, Rubes?
Wow. I mean, De La Salle was the number 1 team in the state. All divisions, I think, they were ranked by some of the rankings. I did the Rice game to open against Dakota, and they were handled pretty well by Dakota. You know, the coach Rice thought that his offensive line was the best one in the state. Well, maybe they're starting to live up to his preseason hype and play that way. And also, maybe they got the running back. The running back was their great running back. Was out for the first game.
Yeah, difference maker. That's why they play the game. Not on paper. Big win for Brother Rice. Cass Tech trying to mount a 4th quarter comeback. Deshaun Mumpfield kept it himself. We got more action. Picks up a couple yards, going to bring down 3rd and short. Another player loses his helmet. But it happened the natural progression of play. That was Jalen Garrett. And now, here comes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Johnny. I was just saying, Coach Rushing trying to establish the run game a little bit. Here with 2nd down, tries to slip one in there, but defended well. Those guys up front for King have done an outstanding job defensively. We talked about Fletcher and Blair and Garrett and Merriweather. Those guys, now Merriweather not in the, he is back in the game. Number 4 we see. Also see clean jersey in number 77, Kelvin Washington, the 6'4", 325-pound freshman's in the game. Nice white jersey.
C.J. Spencer being defended by Tion Parks. Yeah, good catch by Sean Hodges. Picks up a first down for Cass Tech. So a good drive. They're starting to put together, working against the clock, trying to cut into this deficit as well. Got to score, get the ball back, score again.
Yeah, it's a 3-possession game yet. They have to, and now we get another stop by the official. Nice ball delivered. Hodges a little bit surprised he was that open. I think he turned expecting to get hit. He saw a little bit of space. He turned up the field, got what was there. And here they go. I think you got to start a little bit of urgency. 9 minutes in high school goes pretty quick.
Hodges only had 2 catches coming into this game. Can be a weapon out of the backfield. This time in, picks up the blitz. But oh, mercy. Face mask comes in. That one's going to go against number 33, Stephen McCrary, the talented senior linebacker. The pressure got to him, to LaShawn Mumpfield, but you hate to see that. See Mumpfield might take a shot in his eye.
Well, definitely McCrary got it, but it looks, I think, 2 guys from each side. There's the face mask there.
Well, that's the...
And then I thought right there, the helmet gets grabbed as well. So that's doesn't get any easier to call than that one. That's a 15-yarder.
And Mumpfield looks to be okay. You see, really haven't called Stephen McCreary's name a ton here tonight. And there you can see Mumpfield.
You know, it's interesting, though. That is a spot foul. They're kind of... So it was about a 9-yard sack. It's a 15-yard penalty to put him in the second. It'll be down over, so it'll be a 1st and 4. 1st and 5.
Yeah, 1st and 5. Ball at the 35-yard line. Inside 9 minutes to play. Mumpfield out to Sadler. Sadler splits defenders. Sadler down to the 20-yard line.
He is slippery. It looks like they have him dead to rights for about a 3 or 4 yard gain, and somehow he's able to create space with his shiftiness. He's able to make guys move, and Mumpfield gets it out quickly. Nice throw. Looks like he'd 1 miss. You got me? Nope. In between you, 2 misses, and takes 3 or 4 white shirts to bring him down.
Mumpfield thrown into traffic, bobbled, somehow caught by Javen Sewell. Sewell picks up about 7-8 yards. Man, that Mumpfield pass looked like was thrown into triple coverage, and Sewell somehow went up and got it.
I think they should have a Cass Tech Martin Luther King Madden edition. There were some crazy looking plays. Sewell tacks the ball, double catches it, breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2 tackles. But this is something now where I thought Mumpfield shouldn't have went there. He had the out with an easier throw, but he tried to stick it in there, and it almost backfired.
Hodges with the football. Hodges hit at the 10-yard line, still on his feet. Down to the 7-yard line. So you can see this Cass Tech offense starting to play with a little bit better tempo. Starting to put together a nice drive. Part of the reason they've been playing clean.
And Sean Hodges, the Grand Valley commit, which makes me proud to be an alumni to get a guy like this. He ends up turning into something out of nothing. Down. Also, though, Jameel Croft is down. He's cramping up. You can see when he grabs his leg, he's pulling on it. But look at this. This is crazy. Nice job by Ruffin coming in and making the play, or been more damage. But right now, Marvin Rushing, they're throwing the ball just enough to able to slip a run here and there. They're not getting a lot of movement up front. That young man does a pretty good job of creating his own.
Remember, Hodges last year really burst onto the scene in this game at a couple of big returns on special teams. Not allowed Cass to get back in the game. They ended up losing by a touchdown. But you see Jameel Croft working on some cramping issues. A lot of young men playing hard, playing tough here tonight. None more so than number 2 in green. Now a message from the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
Returning AZ Plan lessees can order an F-150 today and lease it for $299 a month for 24 months. Only at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first.
First and goal. 7:36 remaining in the game. There's Croft. Again, you can see him trying to... You ever have that, Charlie Horse, lock up your calves?
Yeah, absolutely. High school, I had it really bad. Now, in the NFL, I was a big cramper.
Because when we play South like Miami or Tampa, I would always get an IV at halftime.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I get IV at halftime, and on the plane I get an IV on the way home. Yeah, people cramp for different reasons. One, if you have real lean body mass and you don't have that, you cramp up. I was just the opposite. I had a high percentage of body fat. I did. I mean, I was a 220-pound guy, and I played at 260. So I carried a lot of extra weight. I could carry it, but I would sweat, 10, 12 pounds out in a game, and I was locking up. It's horrible, too. You grab one cramp and then another one goes, and it's a chain reaction.
Hopefully that's all it is for Jameel Croft. First and goal. Cass Tech. Mumpfield pump fakes once, goes to the end zone, had two receivers in the same vicinity. Incomplete.
Yeah, he had Rashawn Randall along with Kamari Anderson. Both the tight ends ran like kind of, call them little angle routes through the middle of the field. One on the right side, one on the left, and you see there they meet right in the middle, and you never want two guys in the same spot. You need spacing. The whole passing game concept is on spacing of the receivers to stretch coverages vertically and horizontally.
That'll bring up second and goal. This Cass Tech offense couldn't get much going at all in the first half. Trying to get on the board for the first time here in the second half. 7.5 to play in the ball game. Mumpfield back looking. CJ special. Found the freshman. Back in this football game.
A little bit of redemption for number 1, because in coverage is number 7. His rival the entire night was Jameel Croft. So he's able to get a little push off. He just runs a fade route, but he does a good job of pushing off with his body, and the ball is well thrown. You see the separation he's created, and remember, he's the smaller of the two. He's the 5'10". Jameel I think he thought he was going to run an out. He kind of squatting on that a little bit, because you see him trying to open his hips up late, but it's too late, and CJ Sadler gets his first score of the night and kind of, makes this game a little bit more interesting.
Really, a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
A really nice touch pass by LaShawn Mumpfield as well. Going there all along. Got him right in the corner of the end zone, and now Cass Tech got to be feeling good about things. We're seeing more players cramping up, having some cramping issues out on the field. Another King player down, that is Merriweather.
Well, in this situation now, it's a 2-possession game whether you kick it or you go for 2. I think, though, I would go for 2 in the sense that, although they did make a field goal, and, we saw a pretty good job, in the field goal game, but I don't know. I go for 2. It's 2 possessions no matter what. It could be, if you go for 2 and you make it, then it's a touchdown, extra point, and a field goal.
Right.
And if you don't get it, though, then you're looking at still 2 touchdowns. And at least 1 point conversion to take the lead. So I'd go for 2.
All right, the staff continuing to work on Kenny Merriweather. I'll take this opportunity to remind everybody you don't want to miss next week's Bally Sports Detroit Football Fridays Game of the Week. You want to tune in for this one. Detroit Catholic Central taking on Brother Rice. Coming off a big victory tonight. That'll be at 7:30 on Bally Sports Detroit Extra. DCC and Brother Rice at 7:30 Friday, September the 23rd, only on Bally Sports Detroit Extra, presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
Well, we talk about this being one of the great rivalries in the state of Michigan, which it truly is. But that one that's going to be on next week, that Justin Sasante and Grant Perry are going to get to call as analysts, that's a really great one too. That's been around forever, and those teams don't really like each other very much either. So that's going to be a outstanding game that Bally's going to have on.
So as you alluded to, Cass Tech is lining up to go for 2. Mumpfield with 2 running backs flanked, 1 to either side. They hand it off to Sean Hodges. Play's going to be blown dead. Another penalty.
That gentleman right there has earned his pay tonight. It is not easy down there with all the chippiness, all the pushing and shoving, all the post-play activity that goes on.
Let's see. It's going to back it up. It's going to go against Cass. So Cass, the referee, we're having some issues, audio issues, but that's going to back him up 5 yards.
Let's watch C.J. Sadler. He's got Croft. He beat him for the touchdown. They're all alone down here on the bottom. A lot of room.
That gives him a little bit more room. Mupfield out of the shotgun. With time. Back of the end zone. Could not find Kamari Anderson. Pocket collapse, stepped up, had him for a moment.
Boy, really nice job extending the play, Johnny. He just couldn't quite connect.
So it will remain a 12-point deficit. 8-play, 50-yard touchdown drive. Took 3 minutes and 8 seconds. 7-yard TD reception from that young man, C.J. Sadler. Back in a minute. They want to encourage everybody to stay with us after the game when Mickey York and Lorne Plant of State Champs recap all of tonight's Michigan high school football action from around the state. Complete with post-game reaction from right here at Cass Tech. That's all coming up on Football Fridays Overtime, powered by State Champs. Bally Sports Detroit Football Fridays are brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Great matchups all across the state. We try to do our very best to bring you, if not the best game in the state, one of the best, and certainly tonight. We knew this was going to be a battle, and King has obviously flexed its muscle pretty good. Cass Tech hanging in there, grinding, fighting. Marvin Rushing.
Yeah. Former Eastern Michigan University. Knows I plug Eastern as many times as I can.
You love Eastern.
You love Eastern. Former quarterback. I think it was 94 to 98. I talked to myself. I started doing radio at 99, so I just missed the Marvin Rushing era. He was with Rick Rasnick, was the head coach back then.
Going in the Wayback Machine.
Oh, yeah. Time goes quickly. I tell you what, though, I've had an unbelievable ride getting to call college football, high school football, professional football over the past 30 years. It's a treat. I'm not a very smart man, but I figure out a way to go to football and they pay me money, so I'm not that dumb either.
No, it's a joy for me to sit next to you on Friday nights, partner. I mean that. I always learn something sitting up here next to you.
Look at Ty Spencer, happy. Isn't that funny when you interview these coaches going out the half? I mean, his team played a really well first half, did well, and he was still.
Once you're locked in, you are locked in.
Now, this has been the big play for both teams tonight. A lot of speed on this field and a lot of space on the special teams.
George Sanchez to kick it away. Directional kick. They're going to stay away from Jameel Croft. Ball muffed. And I believe King able to come back with it. So that time they wanted to steer clear of number 7 in white, that being Jameel Croft Jr., and nearly had a fortuitous bounce.
Is that Damon Stennis? Number 17.
It is.
Who's still down.
Stennis. And nearly getting to it was Rashawn Thornton for Cass Tech.
Well, they're still fighting.
They're still battling.
They haven't judged.
Clear the pile.
This is why you spend those extra time in the weight room getting those extra reps in here.
And that is well preserved, Damon. Said, I got it. My bad, coach, I got it. So King will maintain possession. That would have been something because that happened right in front of the Cass Tech bench. We still have a technician player down. And I believe that is number 3, Javen Sewell. We called his name a bunch tonight. Sewell is one of their leaders, unquestioning. Started at corner as a true freshman, you remember? Totally selfless guy, member of the National Honor Society. As Coach Rushing says, he's a member of the NHS, but he's also not afraid to hit somebody. He's going to play on Saturdays. He is uncommitted right now, and hopefully he'll get everything figured out over there on the Cass Tech sideline and have an opportunity to play over these final 7 minutes and 20 seconds. This Cass defense has been burned a couple times. You know, one thing we talked about, Rube, earlier in this week is, you know, they have a veteran secondary, so I think that was kind of a little bit of a surprise, I think, that the secondary has been a concern. You know,
yeah, you
Coach
would think
Russian
it'd be the
said,
Achilles
yeah.
heel. Achilles heel. You think it'd be the strength of this team, but there's been some people running open. But as I said when Grant was calling the second quarter with you guys up here, Johnny, it's hard to be a zone team in high. It's hard to be a good zone team, especially if you're going against a coach that knows how to run its passing game with the spread sets. You get guys running free, 2 covered one and none cover the other guy sometimes.
Moore, quick hitter. Nothing doing. Jameel Croft spins away from the first tackler to get back to the line of scrimmage, but that play got blown up immediately. But Cass Tech did a nice job making the open field tackle. Again, Croft made the first man miss, but then eventually ridden out of bounds.
And this play is a great example of why it's tough on the officials. You want to blow the play dead, but these athletes are so good. Sometimes they'll come out of a mess like that. You know, you look at it, it should have been blown maybe 2-3 seconds ago, and they say the ball comes out late, but I mean, when do you blow it dead? When you don't want to stop a huge play from happening, but you don't want an injury either. So it's a fine line for these officials. This is a tough task when you have teams like this, that the game is so fast and so physical and so much talent that you don't know what's going to happen if you let the play go another second.
So they're going to adjust the clock. We see 6:40 on the screen. We're being told to add time back to the clock, 7 minutes and 15 seconds, because that ball did go out of bounds after being fumbled late. 7-1-5. There you go.
There we go. It's fixed. Let's roll.
Thanks, Ribs. I mean, nothing he can't do. There we go. Now 7:15 is the official time remaining in this ball game. We'll get it fixed for you. There it is. And it is 2nd and 15. Moore with time. Here comes pressure. Moore had to get rid of it. And guess who was in pursuit one more time? Jalen Thompson from the defensive end position, again, hot in pursuit.
Yeah, Jalen in the first quarter really wasn't getting into the face of Dante Moore, but he's just wearing down the offensive line, particularly Antonio Johnson. We're going to see to the left coming in. He actually splits the block between Johnson and Ezekiel Bradley Lewis, and then he just riding on the NFL. You better learn, because you may be there someday. That would be a penalty. Once that quarterback, you can't keep driving them into the ground. They take care of those guys that make all that money and make everyone watch.
3rd and 15. See the 3 receivers now on the near side of the screen.
Watch up here. That's where you like to go. He's looking.
Moore flush from the pocket. Steps up, pump fakes it, and he'll go right out of bounds. But guess what? He got hit late.
I'm not sure as much as he got hit, but the Cass defender came and put his hands on him, and then Moore kind of took a little bit of a dive. But the bottom line is, don't put your hands on him. He's 1.5 yards out of bounds, and the coaches next to him are going crazy. And I don't think it's at the officials. I think it's more at the player.
Well, you got it. It's 4th down.
Yeah, now that's another turn. Let's see. He tucks it.
Pump fake.
Just touches him a little bit.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little bit. He kind of started to touch him when he's right by the out of bounds, but we've seen today's game, you protect the quarterback at all levels.
That's a sophomore.
Ty Spencer looks like the cat that ate the canary there. He's kind of, okay, I'll take that one. That's a 2nd turnover now. I told you, Johnny, to me that is a turnover. It's no different than fumbling the ball. You are punting. If you are Martin Luther King, you are punting the ball, but because of the unwise play by Cass, now you keep it. So that's a turnover.
Well, you hit it right on it. I mean, you got what you wanted. And again, the penalties are just killing him. That's 140 yards in penalties tonight for Cass. Jalen Thompson riding down the ball carrier.
He's everywhere. He's as advertised. There's no question 55 is going to be an excellent player in the Big Ten for Michigan State. My daughter Olivia will be thrilled as she's a go green, go whiter.
Yes, she is.
As our Natalie Kerwin is, correct? Also, Natalie went to the same program at Michigan State, I believe. In broadcast journalism, Natalie, she listening? She could chime in here, but I'm pretty sure Natalie went to Michigan State.
Oh, yeah, Rob. Yes, I am a Sparty alum. I had to make sure I butted in on that.
Go
yes.
green, go white, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you know it. Go green, go white, baby, all day.
That's enough out of you two for right now.
Hope no Michigan fans are listening to this one.
And another flag comes in. I believe it's going to be a delay of game going against King. And we do have a little bit of an issue, so we can't hear the head referee making the calls, but that is going to back up King. So 6:06 remaining in the football game. But penalties, man, there have been a lot of penalties tonight.
We got to be well over 20 combined because there were 15 at half. I would imagine we're pushing 25 total between the two teams.
Well, King's got 8 for 75 and Cass is 14 for 140.
22? Accepted. Now those are accepted. There's been some other ones too. Well, they're going to see King's going to try to run the football here. Now that penalty kind of hurts a little bit because you had second down. But they want that clock to keep going.
Moore keeps it himself. Dante Moore.
And that's
the sideline, picks up about 6 yards, about 16 yards.
And that's the problem with the rules, how you protect the quarterback. So the play before, you're going to see as he gets flush out of the pocket, he's going to go to his right. You see here, like he's going to run out of bounds, so you're just kind of waiting for him to just head to the sidelines. Well, all of a sudden he tucks it and goes inside. He's able to pick up, 8-10 yards. It's a tough situation for a defender.
Well, 3rd and 4. We haven't seen, we saw that with Dante Moore again in the championship game as well. It's like when he needs to, he can affect the game with his feet. They don't want to take him too many big hits, especially in a game like this one. He had 3 other ball carriers to distribute it to, but a nice job by Dante Moore. Wasn't
another
there.
delay here. They don't get going.
This time he hands the football off. Big hit over the middle, right near the first down mark. That was Tayshawn Henry Johnson. He's going to be about a yard short, so that's going to bring up 4th down.
Now, Ty Spencer's going to be tempted to go for it. This is one of those situations. It's 4th and 1. You're tempted to go for it. Maybe you do a hard count or something, but if you don't get it, you're giving Cass, you're making it their job a lot easier, giving them field position. Oh, and you got him to jump. The hard count.
Caleb Richmond jumped across the line of scrimmage. And that is going to be 5 more free yards.
You're going to see him jump right in the middle here.
Oh, excuse me, it was number 5. My bad. That was on Zachary Boston.
Yeah. And the problem is he's right by the center, and people say, you're that close. How can you jump? Well, it's also where the inflection and the noise is the loudest by the quarterback. He's the one, he can influence you easier when you're closer. Too many mistakes like that's really almost another turnover. We talked about that because if they don't get that hard count, I think Ty Spencer's going to punt the ball. I don't think they're going to run a play there.
Moore on play action, dumps it off out of the backfield, but Tayshawn Henry Johnson could not come down with it.
Tayshawn, he's got to realize Dante Moore is leading him to the flat a little bit. Looked like Henry Johnson that time was trying to turn up the field before the ball came, where he's leading him more to the side, and the receiver's working more vertical, and it just did not look good as the ball came, because I thought it was going to be a really good throw. But that stops the clock. I just think you run the football. I mean, that's a pretty safe pass. I think Ty Spencer thinks that's a high percentage of completion, but they were unable to do so.
Both teams with all their timeouts left. Cass Tech again got to keep King out of the end zone on this drive, although they've aided it by the late hit out of bounds, and then as another flag flies.
24.
And the jumping on the 4th and 1, and now this penalty is going to go against King, so that'll be 5 yards back the other direction.
No, the referee started the clock, but the clock is not started.
Your wallet is at the Grand River Ticket Box office. Toya Boyd.
Moore hands it off and swallowed immediately. Chase
Cass
Parker in on the stop. Tayshawn Henry Johnson was the ball carrier.
Good use of Marvin Rushing, head coach of Cass, taking a timeout there. Loss puts him into a 3rd down and long. And now I'm looking for Ty Spencer. In this situation, you got 3rd and 15, 16. You're not looking to get a 1st down. You're looking to give one of your athletes the ball in space in the side. Maybe that boot again where you saw him miss the time that they tried before. They tried hitting Tayshawn Henry Johnson in the flat. Maybe something like that where it's a high percentage of completion, because you don't want to help Cass Tech in this time and throw an incomplete and stop the clock.
Let's get it downstairs. We hear from Natalie Kerwin. Nat?
Yeah, guys, seeing the amount of talent on the field tonight isn't a new quality to either of these programs. I mean, there's a long list of players over the years who have gone on to the next level playing college ball and even to the NFL. Right now, there's 6 of them playing on Sundays. You can see here, starting with Ambry Thomas from Martin Luther King playing for the 49ers, Sauce Gardner on the Jets. Over on Cass Tech's side of the ball, Jordan Lewis with the Cowboys, Delshawn Phillips with the Ravens, Michael Owenu with the Patriots, and Donovan Peoples-Jones, DPJ with the Browns. That's quite the list we got there. The talent seems to never stop growing here in the city of Detroit, guys.
No, it really is. We talked about Jordan Lewis a little bit earlier, in that, Coach Rushing feels like, they've got the guy that, could be in that same type of ilk. Jordan Lewis wore number 1 here at Cass Tech a couple years back. It's time, the ball carrier, Tayshawn Henry Johnson, feet still moving. You talk about when did they blow the play
dead? They need to blow that. Yeah, you got to blow that sooner. You're at this time of game where, and especially if this game gets where Cass has no chance to come back, you got to be quick on the whistle.
Look at that. This is when 25. That's Joshua Rogers right there. My bad.
You better be, if you're an official, you're going to be quick.
So we've seen, again, we'll talk to Coach Spencer after this ball game and see what happened with Sterling Anderson, but we've seen that, again, number 25, Joshua Rogers, and number 26, Tayshawn Henry Johnson split the ball carrying responsibilities here for the majority of this football game. But again, you look at King, the defending state champs in Division I, have played some tough competition, will continue to play some tough competition at the end of the year. You mentioned the PSL, maybe not what it used to be in its heyday, but if they're able to hang on and win this football game, you improve to 2-1. Now you got an opportunity to get rested up, play some competition where you should be favored in those before you have to face that Moeller team from Ohio, which is in the Cincinnati area. But, I haven't seen everybody play yet this year, obviously, but seeing Dante Moore, seeing this Division I program, they certainly have the tools and have the pieces in place to run it back at Ford Field.
Yeah, they'll be the defending Division III champs if they get back there. Now, I didn't look at their enrollment. They can choose, though, to move up if they wish. I know, I'll tell you who did it. One year someone did do that. You can't go down, but you can go up divisions if you want to. But, yeah, they're going to be – what a great game that was with DeWitt last year. They jumped on DeWitt early, and DeWitt was able to – the Panthers fought back in Division III and really made a game of it. And Dante Moore was, once again, outstanding.
And back to punt will be Dante Moore. Snap over his head. Moore can only fall on it. And he will go down at the 35-yard line. So how about that? Out of the timeout, you decide to go with the safe play, and now you breathe life back in to Cass Tech.
But what a smart play by Dante Moore. If he picks that up and he tries punting it and it gets blocked or he gets hit, the ball comes out as a fumble, just take the ball, go down, live to fight another day. Let your defense play. Cass has struggled moving the ball offensively. But this will give them a short field, and this is what Marvin Rushing and his staff was looking for. They needed a break, and they just got it.
I misspoke a little earlier in the broadcast. I had said that reigning Division I champs, as you correctly pointed out, Division III last year when they beat DeWitt there at Ford Field.
Did you get that?
Never was
that
great
your
at math. No, I did not do that game. Carry the one. So, this is a great situation for Cass Tech. LaShawn Mumpfield back in at quarterback. We saw last time they had the football on offense, played with better pace and tempo. They got to score quickly because they need a couple of them. Mumpfield with time, steps into the throw. Gain of a couple yards, but he stays inbound. That's Javen Sewell.
They have a little bit of urgency here. Get up to the ball.
Still one timeout remaining. We'll decide when they want to utilize that over these final 3:40.
But you can't nickel and dime because this goes fast. This is not the NFL. When you're in high school, that clock keeps rolling. It's tough to manage it. So sooner or later, you can't throw the 5-yard out. You got to try to get vertical, get behind someone.
Mumpfield, pocket collapsing. Oh, he got swallowed in the backfield. Never gave up on the play. Kenny Merriweather, the senior D lineman, came in, put him on the ground, sack on the play.
I think Coach, the White Hat was saying that they took a timeout, but
yeah, a little miscommunication.
Yeah.
Coach Rushing is now on the field at the 40-yard line trying to holler at the official.
Well, that clock should be running, but it stopped.
He's saying nobody called timeout. If I can read lips okay. So there's no timeout. We'll see if they do the clock here.
If I'm Ty Spence, I'm like, okay. But there's about 30 seconds should have run off.
So inside the stadium reads 3:05. Mumpfield with time. Mumpfield reaching back. He's got him. Elijah Jordan. Elijah Jordan. Touchdown, Cass Tech.
Wow.
So Cass Tech, man, I'm telling you.
There's some chaos going on. How about Mumpfield, though? He's able to find Jordan, who gets lost in coverage. We saw right before the first half when Xavier Newsome got lost in coverage by Cass in the secondary. That time, Jordan gets lost by King. He just gets behind him. When the quarterback can extend the play, they become so dangerous because guys get lost on the back end.
Elijah Jordan. And now the lineup to go for one as George Sanchez steps in. But Cass Tech, as they've done here in recent years, fall behind, never quit, claw their way back into it, and now, who knows? 2:47 left. Cass Tech still didn't have to burn its time out on that drive.
Yeah, we had some clock issues because we were talking about that clock should have been running when Rushing didn't take a timeout for Cass. Well, after that touchdown, 10 seconds ran off, and the clock kept going when all the coaches from Cass Tech were saying that the clock should have been stopped. But they need to understand that they saved about 30 seconds, too, when after that last one, when Marvin Rushing didn't take a timeout, and that clock was stopped the entire time. So, it's kind of one of those give and take.
So the referee's coming over to the Cass Tech sideline. I think wants to talk it over. They want to make sure they got this right. As of right now, 3:05. And now they are going to drop it to 2:53 remaining.
I think that's about right. From when he goes.
Well, it's got to be exactly.
Is Spartan Bob here? Spartan Bob here? Working the clock?
2:53. There's the call coming in. I'll tell you what, high school football, there are a lot of layers, and I know people just watching from home, they'll say, what's going on? But I'm telling you, when you're here, when you see what's going on, you ever been on a high school sideline, especially in a rivalry game, there's a lot going on. Sometimes people get caught up in the emotion, and, you got to get the clock figured out. Now they've got it square. Everybody feels good about it. Another flag comes in. Stop me if you heard that one before. That one's going to go against King. Doesn't really do you any good to go for two here. Down 6. Take your point after right now. Question is, Rubes, do you look for an onside opportunity here again, or do you try to kick it away, see if you can somehow flip the field, force a 3 and out?
I think you got to onside. You have only one timeout. You onside, and if you don't get it, then you just get a stop. Then you're no different. You're going to get the ball. You're just going to have a lot longer to go if you get a 3 and out.
Another whistle. They're going to blow this play dead. And I do believe it's going to go against King one more time. So offside against King. What's our running penalty tally? We got our numbers man up in the booth, been crunching them all night. Make sure we got those penalty totals up to date. Good snap, good hold, good kick. 28-23. Cass Tech with still life breathing in it. Total 26 penalties in this game for 235 combined yards. But you know what? It matters not.
You know, we talked in the open when we talked about the quarterback. We had the split screen on him, and I talked about LaShawn Mumfield. Now, here's going to ultimately get it. He's going to come down here. He's going to work his way out. He's going to get off our monitor, but he's going to get lost behind coverage down the field. And that's Elijah Jordan. You see him runs the out, and he does. It's kind of like a wheel route. He goes down the field and just gets lost. And everyone's looking at each other. And you see Corey Webb saying, wait a minute, where is he? Where did he come from? But he's behind everyone. That's Elijah Jordan. And
well, they've got big,
yeah, Samuel
big
Washington was coming over.
But
man, in that situation, just play quarters. Play 4 deep. No one gets behind you. Back up. Make them catch it in front of you and close on. That's not good situational football. That's not discipline.
So I mentioned the penalties and all the yards. I say it matters not right now. You can see the cameras are shaking. We try to get a close shot of Ty Spencer because Cass Tech still has an opportunity for all that's gone wrong in this football game, still with an opportunity, still with 1 timeout remaining. And back deep this time for King.
We got Hands team too. We got all the athletes, all the receivers up in that front row.
It's Corey Webb. So typically we'd see Jameel Croft in this situation back deep. And a little pooch punt. And Hans' team is right there and up underneath it, Tion Parks.
I like it, though. Marvin Rushing, I really liked. He did about 5 yards more on that kick. That's going to hit on the ground, and it might spin backwards, and you got 3 or 4 green shirts running full speed. If this gets over the head, that time, was it Tion?
That was Tion Parks.
Yeah. If that gets over the head of Tion, you're going to see 3 guys coming down full speed. That bounces. You just have 1 Crusader coming up in white to make the play in Corey Webb. So it's I like it. I'm a big fan of hitting the pooch over the first line and having it try to hit to the ground, because once it hits the ground, you never know what type of spin hop it's going to take.
And they kept the football away from Jameel Croft, who is on the far side of the line. And it will be 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 35-yard line for Dante Moore in this Crusader offense.
You have to believe they're going to just run the football.
Play 1, run 1. Gain of 5.
Timeout, I would think Cass would use.
Not yet.
Okay.
They're going to say he picked up 4 yards on the play.
Now, the only advantage I will say that King has in this situation compared to a lot of high school teams is we have one of the top quarterbacks, not in the state, but in the country. You are a little bit more likely to throw a short pass to keep the clock going, because you don't want an incomplete pass. But you got to believe that if you do that, number 5 in white will put the ball on the mark.
Let's keep our eyes on number 55, the talented D end. He's been bringing pressure all night. This time they run it away from Jalen Thompson, still trying to get in and make the play. That's the freshman Joshua Rogers, putting a lot of trust in the freshman ball carrier. Picks up another couple of yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and manageable. Marvin Rushing decided to hold on to that timeout.
Yeah, we're going to, next time we're trying to look at this guy up top, the official, because he's the one that watches the clock. And when his hands go straight in the air, that means 10 seconds. He'll raise his hand to the sky, and he'll start chopping like 1,000, maybe it's a 5, 4, like little karate chops. And that's who your quarterback watches. It's in his vision, and he understands when he gets about to 5 or 4, you get into your cadence and you get the ball snapped. No play clock.
So timeout is called by Cass Tech. That will stop the clock at 1:36 on a 3rd and 2. Let's pause now for tonight's play of the game, brought to you by the Southeast Michigan Ford Dealers. We're taking you back to quarter number 1. Jameel Croft Jr. on the receiving end from Dante Moore. Takes it to the house. 82-yard touchdown reception. It was a foot race and one that Croft won over C.J. Sadler. Look at that ball. Beauty.
Talk about spinning it, huh? That's pretty.
That opened the scoring in this football game. Been a lot of big plays in this one, none prettier than that one.
And what a battle between number 7, Jameel Croft, and number 1, Corey Sadler, the senior versus the freshman. And the senior has come out on top. He's won more of the battles than Sadler has, but the fact that Sadler can even compete with a senior top player in the state is pretty impressive.
3rd and 2, they roll him out. There's the pass. There's a freshman, Joshua Rogers. Cuts back to the inside. Rogers up near the Kings sideline, and that is what you just talked about. High percentage throw, keep the clock running. Cass Tech was ill prepared for that play, and a late penalty flag comes in, but that is the game sealer by Joshua Rogers.
And that's the luxury, as I said, Ty Spencer has when you have a quarterback like that. It looks like an easy throw to us, right? Rogers gets in the flat, there's no one there, but you still got to get it. You got to deliver it. Some of the passes are going to see right here. They're just going to take Rogers and they're going to leak him into the flat. They're going to run off here, let it go. And they're going to leak him into the flat, and no one goes with him, and that throw's perfect. Nice job by Rogers. Now, I would have told him, go down. The game is over. Just go down. We don't need to score a touchdown because you could get the ball stripped in this situation. But the young man's like, yeah, I'm on Bally Sports. I might want to try to get to the house on this.
Well, in those situations right there, that's all you're thinking about. Take it to the house. You're running right up your own sideline there, and that is going to put the punctuation on this game. Dante Moore to Joshua Rogers. That was on a 3rd and short and fooled the Cass Tech defense. Good play call by Ty Spencer and his offensive staff as the Crusaders of King are ready to improve to 2-1 on the season. And that is what they call the victory formation. So last year, King won both games against Cass Tech. Combined total of 13 points. This year, they win the initial matchup against their crosstown brethren from Cass Tech, and they do it on the road. But Ty Spencer, he says King versus everybody. And we'll see. If they want a chance to repeat as state champions, they're going to have to go through everybody. They got the horses to do it. You know, one thing when we had that sit down with Coach Spencer and Coach Rushing, we did it last year and then this year, and now another flag comes in, and
that's Corey Sadler. I tell you, he reminds me of the Chicken Hawk. Remember the old Looney Tunes? The foghorn leghorn, and the little chicken hawk. He said, let me at him. That's how this kid is. He's a freshman, and he comes flying through, and that's one that Marvin Rushing is going to talk to him and say, we know you're competitive. We understand that, and you're going to get a look right here. He's going to just come running through. Not necessary. This game is done. The other guys are all just standing up straight, and yeah, that is a highly competitive young man who great things are in his future.
Well, congratulations to Coach Spencer and this King team. Like I said, I think there is common respect for both these programs. We saw the chippiness. That comes with high school athletics. But at the end of the day, these two schools do a great job showcasing what the PSL is all about. And they respect their kids. They respect each other's staffs. And you respect the competition. At the end of the day, it's going to be King who's going to hoist this trophy. And I don't think I'm going out on a limb when I say we might get a chance to see these guys again in the PSL championship game several weeks from now.
Well, you get a chance to see Martin Luther King throughout the playoffs, too, because they're going to make a run in Division III. Remember, this Cass Tech is a good Division I team, so it's sometimes King's schedule during the year really prepares them where the playoffs come, and all of a sudden it's like, well, this is a little bit easier early on in the playoffs than it was during the regular season.
So Cass Tech with an opportunity, late touchdown to make it interesting, but could not get a stop when they needed to. It is going to be King who wins our Football Fridays Game of the Week 28-23. But don't go anywhere. Our Football Fridays coverage continues with Mickey York and Lauren Plant.
Johnny, thank you. Coming up tonight on the OT, we'll wrap up the game you just saw at Cass Tech. We'll also take you to the slugfest at West Bloomfield between the Lakers and Wolves of Clarkson. And River Rouge knocks off the Rust against Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Oh, and we had the upset of the night. The number one team in the state is now got one in the L column. Brother Rice with a huge upset over Warren De La Salle. We're going to talk to Coach Korzenecki, hopefully coming up in the show. All of it next on the OT.